No, good luck for the rest of the day to everybody, to Prad's longs. That upstart looking pretty fire. I'm flat, going to be watching a couple things, but pretty much done on the day, I think, for me. Wait for these earnings tomorrow. Could be exciting. And tune into the close, for sure, with Trader Prad. Trader Pradnum Prad, I think is what he was trying to say. But yeah, see you guys at 4 o'clock. Have fun on the closing show. Ciao.
Welcome in, 2 o'clock on a pretty exciting afternoon here as the market continues to kind of chop around. Basically flat for the NASDAQ. We give back most of that huge pop for the Apple. We are downside ever so slightly right now on the NASDAQ 100 specifically, but Apple shares not so much, back to positive territory anyways. After starting the day a little bit negative here, 0.5%, 0.46 to the upside on the composite, negative 0.14 for the big ones, the NASDAQ 100. All three of the Russells, meanwhile, are positive to the tune of about 0.2%. 0.38 there for the Dow, 0.23 for the S&P 500. Yeah, still pretty mixed board here right across the entire spectrum. The NASDAQ 100, I mentioned there, in negative territory. Here's why. Microsoft and Google under a little bit of pressure today, NVIDIA as well. Apple, meanwhile, back to positive 0.37 coming off that AI headline. Yeah, even Apple gets an AI now, apparently. We'll see how that plays out over time. Banks, I wanted to mention as well, still really strong coming off of more earnings in the group, obviously, this morning. Goldman Sachs, I mean, the report was not that bad, but the reaction was not that great. BRK downside as well to the tune of about 0.5%. More positivity in the pharma group specifically. Eli Lilly, Merck, AbbVie here all to the upside today, reversing some negativity from yesterday. Industrials are a little bit red, some healthcare stocks as well down here. Also positive, retailers also in positive territory, but about as mixed as you're going to see that board on a given afternoon. If you missed it, that is the headline here. Apple suggesting, I love how they use that word, suggesting that the company is developing its own generative AI tool. It was a matter of time when Apple eventually gets to doing something. You know they're going to do it properly and do it the Apple way. So a bit of a bounce right now off 195 here, guys, for Apple. But what a move to all-time highs for Apple.
Super strong move for Apple. It was sometimes on the way up, it's better than on the way back into the downside. Yesterday, if all you did yesterday for the Microsoft news was just continue to go long, 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 it was fantastic. If you tried to fade it, you got destroyed. Today, if you faded the news, you actually were winning. So if you apply a consistent approach through the 2 days, you're monstrous one day and you're okay the second.
Yeah.
And you just got to look at it, just try to do the same thing. I decided I only wanted to be long on Apple, so I was all over the breakout at 95. When the news came out, I mean, it was already gone. It was about here. I kind of just checked Twitter. It was like, hey, this is actual AI news. So I punched the 95 long. I added at 96. I covered my 95s here. I was still in 96 when I got some out at 97. I tried the reloads. I got my average price essentially to like 96.20 or something, and then added it again here, stopped out for like 40 or 50 cents. I had a decent scalp trade off 95 for like 50 pennies, and a decent one off of like 94.50 for like 50 cents again. But really, every single reload was not working out, so getting up flat there, get in for a bit of a hit. On the way up was the way to go. If you faded this move, you're an absolute champion. But the consequence of Apple not continuing its move was the market falling. Like, Apple was dragging us up, but the second Apple failed, the NASDAQ and the ES and everything just started trending into the downside because you didn't continue the move like yesterday in Microsoft. So it's trying to bounce. We'll see what happens. As long as you hold on to 94, I suppose there's a chance. Apple goes red underneath 94, so it's managed to stay green on the day. I'm just in a couple of short positions. You probably heard Max and those guys talk about Amazon off the high. I've been shorted like multiple times here off of this high. It just gave you like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 looks on the afternoon, but all day long it's been the same top. There was one stop out and then a re-entry. This is my 3rd time in, and I have ATVI because that did a weird pop and I kind of just shorted into it. So a heck of a lot going on here today, led by Apple, but no follow through for Apple.
All right, what's up, Zoltan? Thank you, Nail. You finally nailed that explanation. A good one. Okay, yeah, we're back, baby. I wasn't here yesterday, but We're here today, and look at this trade here on Apple. I mean, we were already long before off 192, so we got lucky that we had this trade. But look at my out. There's absolutely nothing luck about that. We sat here, we were talking about it on the midday show with Obi and Pratt when they were going, and I was saying it even all on the chat. I'm like, I'm getting at 198. If we can get back up here, too many wick tops, too much volume coming through. So there's my out on Apple. So we actually wind up taking, it's $5. So today, Apple's been more than $1, AMD, Amazon, Carvana, Meta, and Microsoft. I mean, today's the day. Today is the day, and there it is right now. What are we doing right now? So there's the out, $5-6. It's all good. And then right here, we're short now, Apple. It's so nice, we hit it twice. And there it is right there, 95s. This is another 40 cents in the money. So, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like we are in a little bit of a malaise here when we put on the trades, and this is what happens. But so far, so good here. Apple off 195 downside. We're below VWAP on the market. I like the trade short. I'm at a half already. I'm scalping. Like, we're in scalp mode right now. I mean, I'm hoping that this can fall down to the rest of the day here. We've got AMD is also $2 in the money that we get. Even Obi, I was talking to Obi when he was getting food. I was like, damn, I should have just hit that short, because we were talking about that on the midday as well. But here we go. NASDAQ, like Neil mentioned, starting to go down, being dropped down there. As soon as Apple rejected, you see some volume spikes there in the NASDAQ, right up there, 16,065. Yeah, I mean, NASDAQ is now more Microsoft than it is Apple, but, it's a nice downside move right here. Everything's kind of carrying the day a little lower, and hey, I'm happy to be short right now, Brendo.
All about the individual movers today, including this one. Tesla, guys, was on the docket this morning, top of the list, in fact, heading into earnings. There was a ton of positivity and a ton of mentions from analysts in the pre-market. This one just highlighting the fact that their aggressive pricing strategy so far this year, constantly almost updating prices both in the Chinese market and in North America, has helped will help as far as revenue is concerned. But there was also mention in this of saturation in the EV market overall. And hey, there's more competition. But as we were talking about last week a little bit with the likes of Ford and GM, there's parking lots full of EVs right now that they can't sell. So there's a ladder going up in the background. That's never a good thing. But hey, what do we think, guys, on Tesla ahead of earnings?
Why is it a bad thing? I just turn around to see what they're doing back there. I don't know why it's a bad thing that there's a ladder going up. Maybe there's
That's Mike and Max.
Needed work being done. Max seems.
Yo, what's up, Mike?
Yeah, Mike's all good. Max has it under control.
You're on TV, man.
What is going on over there?
Oh, shit, here comes Randy.
Oh, boy.
All right, so there's a ladder uh-oh.
So usually Randy comes by because he wants to talk on the show. Something serious is happening because Randy's not even talking to us.
Randy does chin-ups on those bars up there.
You can. They told us this when they installed them, that these are so well done that you can do chin-ups. A grown male can do chin-ups on them. Nobody has tried, and nobody's going to try.
Oh, shit. Apple is falling.
The market started to drop. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I just got Amazon 135.10, so that bit of a flush there in the markets. We're supposed to be talking Tesla, but we're going to ring the register on some of the shorts.
Yeah, let's go.
While that's happening. So Tesla, with everything else, is flushing. I've only been long Tesla on a day where it just turned red, but it worked out because we took the breakouts while it was strong. We're working off the 297 half, 298. I was willing to stop out, break even. It failed break 299, but I was adding to it off a 297 half. So I added to it at 299, and when it failed to break, really, that's actually a winning trade. I guess when you fail to break, I could have been short there, but I was really only thinking the long in Tesla, but that doesn't mean I have to be stubborn about it on the fail break. I haven't found anything I like to the long side since. Maybe this 292.50, that's a gigantic maybe. I only say that because this is around where we closed yesterday.
Hi. I was just looking at Netflix here. There was more volume on Netflix as well. But breaking back to the upside, in fact, this spike here, though, was downside. There was a report from the Information suggesting that their ad-supported tier is at 1.5 million signups. So we'll hear more about that, I'm sure, coming up tonight as well from NFLX. CVNA, on the other hand, was a bit of a tricky trade out of the CVNA. Wow. Guys, how did you approach CVNA today?
I only traded it in the pre-market. I don't know. Like I know you were
I
trading
mean,
it.
I could take it if you want.
Yeah, you were trading it after, but I was
you just
only
crushed Tesla there.
I was only long this thing at 53 in the pre-market and 55, and then I just stopped trading it when it got back underneath 53. Like I was just done. I was 53 to 58, 53 to 58, 53 this time to 55, stopped out and done. I just take the money and run, and it's been choppy ever since. So I don't know. Maybe it does the secondary move in the afternoon, but I feel like the market tanking is a bigger story than CVA's Carvana going sideways.
Yeah, Carvana is going sideways a little bit. I mean, we've had 10% moves. It's just because it was earnings day. I think that there is lots of action there on Carvana. I got to just give a shout out to my friend SJ here. All Sean's $5 trades happened behind the scenes, except for all 6 trades today that were all $5. All the other ones that nobody saw, those ones were all behind the scenes. And hey, SJ, this one's for you. All right, let's go. I mean, I can't talk to everybody on the chat without addressing everybody. So there you go, SJ. This is another trade right here that maybe was happened live or maybe not. I don't know if you were watching when we put these trades on. Right now, 8:30. Yep, that's a live trade. $51. There's the out there $58. So you're right. That was not a $5 winner. That was only 6. And then there's a couple moves down. But yeah, Carvana today, I wish, like Neil said, it is going sideways right here, right now. So again, there's there's ins, outs. There's another 52 to 58. That's another 6. Anyways, okay. So as we go, we did lose on our last one. We talked about that. Carvana is no longer my number 1 stock because AMD is now the number 1 stock on the board. And I'll talk about that in a minute where we're holding a winner on that right now, $2. But there's the dump on Carvana. We gave it up. That's a bad out, man. That's for sure a bad out. Looks bad. I don't consider it a bad out because it actually triggered exactly where we wanted it. And I'm only going to call bad outs when maybe, I make a keystroke error or I look back and I'm like, man, why did I get out there? But this breaks the bottom. And when you have an earnings play like Carvana, I don't necessarily like to trade earnings too much because I'm not sure when the market opens, which way the stock wants to go. That's why it's a little easier trading in the pre-market. We've seen success like that, and I'll show you tomorrow with Tesla and Netflix what we're looking at with that again. But look at this area right here, 56. That seems to be a great level for Carvana. We got a couple outs right there. Bounced off 56, and right now we're just barcoding. But I mean, Carvana, congratulations to everybody that's been in this name. You saw something down here, people messaging us that they're long at $36, $37, $38. I mean, that was just yesterday's prices. So great job there holding that level and a huge move to the upside. Carvana continues to make heads spin, man. I mean, 48% short, continuing to make higher highs here. Not now, but on the daily chart. We'll see where that goes. And then the other name I always want to look at when we talk about this is Beyond Meat, because I think, maybe you guys could tell me if I could be offside here. Neil, you tell me if you think of anything else, but I think this is number 2 right now. I mean, there's going to be...
That we look at, yeah.
Yeah, like when you're talking about a market cap north of $1 billion, this is probably the next. Please let us know if I'm missing something. I mean, Wish is under $1.
No, that's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We talked about Rivian earlier. That was 16, 17, 18%. Some of the EV names could be like that, like a Go EV or something like a Canoe, which is Go EV. But other than that, I feel like Beyond Meat could be the next one to play after Carvana. So Beyond Meat's earnings right here, August 3rd. Something to look at for BYND at 40+%. I'm sure the chat will get that all for us too. We will talk more about Netflix and all that kind of stuff. Just watch throughout the show. We're going to talk about some earnings expectations and maybe what we think for both Netflix and Tesla. But right now, Carvana was a good trade today. I just feel like, yeah, right now it's just slowing down, but it is basing out. This could be a good break here, 53.50 or so. Could get you back to 56, but I don't expect much more than 56 today.
All right, let's go back quickly. We skipped over Microsoft there. There's a couple of things in the pre-market noteworthy. Yesterday, obviously, it was Microsoft Day, all-time highs on that AI headline. Higher prices coming through for their enterprise suite of AI products. Back to the downside, though, on this Apple headline. So what's good for Apple might be good or not so good for Microsoft. There was also this, if you remember going back a couple of years, they did that deal with Microvision for those Army goggles, night vision Army goggles. So apparently they've discovered what the problem is with them and are working on a fix. So sounds kind of positive on that end. But Microsoft downside, guys.
I remember those goggles. That was a minute ago. That was a while ago. I guess we don't care about that too much.
What, the...
It's the
Apple Vision?
I forget what they're called, But that wasn't that a
VR,
couple
it's
of
Apple
years?
VR, isn't it? Is that what we're talking about?
No, they were giving these. It was like simulation goggles for like the army, so they could do for training.
For the arm. That's not Apple, was it?
No, it was Microsoft.
Microsoft, right.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Softy, and I
Hello.
I guess there was an issue with it, and they got everything, man. But you know who has some contracts too? I know you traded Microsoft, but the only thing I can talk about in the AI space today is going to be Palantir, because if you watched yesterday's show, you'll know my frustration of trading the 18 level instead of the top at 1810. So today, instead of trading the even dollar level, I was only messing around with that 1810 breakout. I did try a dip buy here. You'll see like overlapping triangles, got in out flat, and then I kind of messed around with some flat trades in here. It was a small winning trade, I suppose, to the south side. Was it danced around the 18 on the way back, but it was all about the breakout. Just yesterday's high. Remember the wall that it was? Like if it breaks that wall at the open, I'm going long. I didn't hold on to everything for the top. I was able to manage to hold on to a decent amount as we got into that 50 range, but 19 top probably should have been shorted. There was size on 19. It went to 18.99. It's almost embarrassing as a day trader to not just take a shot at it, because the risk to reward when you get a top like that on a move, an $18 stock moving $1 is insane enough already. But if you can short 99 with a stop at the even, you should be taking that 10 times out of 10 if you like the move, because that was pretty clean of a reversal. Whether you take 25 cents or hold it to the bottom, it doesn't even matter when you get a setup like that. So I wish I could have said I played it both ways. But Palantir, it was decent yesterday. It was very good today. The short, in some ways, was even better because you're risking literally 1 or 2 cents, depending on slippage, if you get 99s. Whereas the long, you have to give it at least 5 or 10 cents on the breakout trade.
Oh, man, I screwed that up. I thought we were already doing Carvana before, which is why I went over with Carvana last time. But okay, so Microsoft, here's another trade. What's up to SJ again that we took live on the show. Right there, here's 360 short. There's the fill there. This is 250 of a winner. Obviously, it's not on the full piece. Then it came back up. We shorted VWAP. We talked about this trade live. We got it out once it took out 360. Now it's obviously down here at 353. So a little bit of pie on my face as the market goes downside, and we take our last fill on Microsoft as an L. So that really does suck. But hey, I was checking my account just before we went on the air because I was looking at my Netflix shares. I'm still going to hold on to them. I've been selling them, so I'm just going to wait for that. But I feel like a lot of these names right now, and I'm not smart enough to time the market, and that's what I've been realizing over the years, because I really feel like although I own Apple and Microsoft and Google and names, I mean, all the tech names, a lot of you guys own this whole basket, but it's like I really feel like if I had just sort of bought something and just compounded the NASDAQ, there's going to be no dividends when you just straight up buy the NASDAQ. But, a lot of these names are such big components there that I just feel like this run that we've had in NASDAQ, especially heading into earnings right now, I mean, let's put it this way, Neil, quite frankly. The NASDAQ,
That's my line.
I know. I shouldn't have. I used your gift horse earlier and I'm using that now. But regardless, I feel like the NASDAQ is pretty primed for every single name to come out there and beat already pretty lofty expectations. I mean, if NVIDIA can come out and beat, then I would think the market could easily start to leg up. I mean, I'm going to go find what 16.8, I believe, was the highs of the NASDAQ 2 years ago. So we'll have to wait to see if that comes into play again. But you were on an island earlier today, breaking up through 16,000. Now, it would not surprise me if not today, but definitely this week we pull back, maybe even to this 200, which is back down here at 15.5, and then we see. But there's just been a lot of lifting over the last couple days, and it was been pretty straight line until today. Now we're finally starting to get some back. You have given some back near the end of the day, but then you just get these huge moves where the NASDAQ just can't be stopped. And I'm just wondering if, attention, maybe at some point this sort of roller coaster does come to an end here, and I think it could spell the end with earnings. Now, I know we're talking about Microsoft, which has nothing to do with earnings, but I just wait to see what all this chat AI and all that stuff, we get that blowout today in Apple, and we're short Apple, by the way, again, there it is right here. No, not now. Nice downside move there back to 194. But and the example I was going to give is Apple comes out here and just announces that they're working on an AI platform, I guess similar to ChatGPT there. And this is what happens. It's we know that Apple's doing that kind of stuff, right? So it's just this FOMO. It's just this FOMO. So when the bears finally get some dubs, which they're going to get on some of these earnings plays, I do worry about like, oh, well, we told you Apple was, you know, its PE was too high or Microsoft's PE is too high, all this kind of stuff, because you know what, man? Their PEs are way too high. There isn't historical, we asked for this and someone gave it to us and I just didn't mark it down. But there is a website that shows where historical PEs are at. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Microsoft at 37 is pretty damn lofty. So, you know, whether or not you like Microsoft at this level, I don't. I like, here, hold on, we're still on Apple. I still like Microsoft here. It's still a big part of my holdings. But at the same time, it would not surprise me if we did fall back and tried to reweight some of, the NASDAQ. We know there's going to be a special reweighting coming in 5 days. But you got to watch out for some of these plays, man. If they don't hit properly, you could get some nice downside action because the bears have a lot to sort of sink their teeth in because there are some pretty lofty valuations starting right here with Microsoft. You got it? Yeah, so just Neil has it. Like, just look at Neil's screen right here.
On my screen for a second, Y Charts has it. I'm sure there's another source, but if you look at what Apple's PE's been doing,
yeah,
they get a 2021 peak post-COVID, you had a double top at 40. But
40, so you're
getting
not even
over
that far.
30. But you're up 50%.
You're at 37, so the post-COVID, or right there, the post-COVID high of 40.
Yeah, and
So
we're getting close.
Yeah, so how much further are we?
How far do you think we're going to go? That's the thing.
That's it.
All right, let's go on to Meta. Back to positive. Just went red. Back to positive right now. Yesterday, we got more AI-related headlines for Meta. That was the initial move in the pre-market, or based off the initial move in the pre-market. There were a few positive analyst moves. This just coming across before we came out, or came back on this afternoon, though. Big update, apparently, today for Threads. I also saw a note this morning that said daily active users down 50% on Threads so far. So apparently this new update for Threads can do AI translation and a slew of other features coming through. So back to green, though, here, guys, right now for Meta.
Yeah, it just did a bit of a bounce off of 313 as I saw my chart to load back up. But, you know, Meta, it was actually a good bounce play. I had it the first time, but not the second time. Then I had it the third time. So we made this breakout of 315.50. If you're wondering why I drew a line there, that was just last week's high. If you go back far enough, you'll see 315.5 was a top. So I took the breakout there. It was pretty clean for the first buck. I then tried a reload on it, which didn't work out. That was when it had that huge volume candle to the downside, like the second push through. I think it was technical on the NASDAQ and the ES, but I wasn't really holding it all the way against me back into 314. Even Meta, so super strong. I tried the dip buy at VWAP. It did work, but then it started to get another volume candle to the downside, and I just got away from it when I was trading some Apple. Still positive on it, but it done way better. Like if I go 3 times long here, then it goes to the top. If I go back into the long right here when it holds the top, you get the 317 again. So it wasn't my plan to be super aggressive with Meta. It was more just opportunistic. So we'll take the dub on it. What I don't love about both Meta and Microsoft, and I guess this is probably goes to your point about the Qs, just in a general sense. Meta had the news with the llama, and Microsoft had its news. Yeah, we're on ridiculous upward trends. Apple news got rejected today. Now my 15 doesn't even want to work on Meta. Okay, but you guys get the idea that you try to fail. If you fail a breakout on that kind of a news today, and Microsoft essentially is giving back its breakout from yesterday, and Apple gets its AI news, and this time they don't even try to continue it on the same day, that's all a little bit bearish for some of this AI stuff. So maybe this is a bit of a turn, but when you go 1, 2, 3, Meta, Microsoft, and Apple, and each of them have some trouble holding on to the gains in this 2-day rally, you throw on top of the fact we're going to get some big earnings coming through, it's a little bit of caution, I would say, for some of this AI hopium. And we'll see. I think long term, they're all absolutely fine, but that's not the reaction you want to see when you have back-to-back news of big AI stories, and the notion is to sell them off the second day.
All right, we have $2 in the money on AMD, but that's going to come next right now. So yeah, we do have a losing stock. on the board today. So we're going to have one L. We've traded Apple, AMD, Amazon, Carvana, Meta, Microsoft. So we're going to go five for 6 today, with Meta being a couple cups of coffee. We went long early on this name, almost immediately. Then there was some kind of a bad news story there. I don't even remember what it was at this point. Breaks down through 311, so we do take 50 cents early, then we lose it on the rest. So we only took out like 20%, lose on 80%. That's a negative Nancy trade, and we talked about that. Then, unfortunately, in the pre-market, we talked about breaking through 316 right here, and I just got flat out lazy. There's the 316 break right there, 316.50. So unfortunately, we did take that break when that happened, and it's right there. And I kept my order out. It just ripped up, and we got filled. When it came back in, we got out at 315.50. So that's $1 to the downside of a hit. But then it came right into VWAP, and that's 314. And again, this is right at 11 o'clock. Look at this move back. There's a 317.50 out. So that brought our day almost back to positive on Meta. But you know, in transparency, we've already talked about that today. Still going to be red on Meta despite taking a $2.50 winner right there. And now it's kind of just chilling out again. I look like that 313 bottom. I just got to decide if we like the longs. I don't. I'm still favoring the shorts in this market right now. So I'm not going to push the long there on Meta. We've done the damage. We're up. This is my best day of the month. We've only traded for the morning. We didn't do much trading at all. I tried to take my Apple Watch in, which now it's getting repaired on Apple, so that's nice. Hopefully, anyways, on them, and we'll see where that goes. But I like Meta. I like all the story here, and I just feel that, again, we talked about earnings, man. It's all the way up, and it could continue to go, but I just worried about some of these takes, man. Like, you take down 300, next stop 270. It's just there's going to be a lot of action over the next couple weeks in all of these big cap names. So I would say trade it with caution, wait for news to come out, wait for upgrades and downgrades. But for right now, Meta holding fort right now, up 0.5%, right? Market down a third. So good day for Meta. I still like the name. I think this one works for a very, very long time, but let's not forget where it came from. This had a 9 handle on it, $90 earlier on this year. So you're up to 315 now in 8 months. Call it after earnings. You know, it's a nice move up for Meta, and don't be surprised if it gives some back.
Oh, one more thing before we get back.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this. Pull up a weekly chart of Meta. We did this in the morning, but if you pull up the weekly chart, just if you remember when it did that big shock earnings flush through 300, the local high was around 330. So it's in that range on the weekly where it gave it up to start this whole run that gave the fantastic 100 bottom. That all started at 300. There's a lot of optimism around that time on stock. It's like it's a dip, it's a great dip buy, and then they had that big earnings flush. So this would make sense technically. Like if it was going to stall out or turn around, between 300 and 330 would be where I would expect it. So it gets pretty interesting. There's so many names out there, not all-time highs, but certainly getting toward them. As last one on the board is going to be the chips. I think we already know the answer to the question posed there.
I mean, at one point they were, but definitely not now. I just saw NVIDIA popped up on a day low scanner here, back to 467.50, but some volume there at day lows. This was the major news story this morning that happened pre-market. DigiTimes Alert reporting that quote-unquote cloud service providers looking to switch to, possibly anyways, AMD's large language model chip as alternative to NVIDIA. So that caused that spike up to 122, guys, for AMD. Yeah, rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. TraderTV20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
There you go. Shout out to Trade Ideas. We were just showing off the Trade Ideas chart. You're going to get to AMD. I feel like my NVIDIA trade actually played off the AMD reversal in a lot of ways because NVIDIA on that news, like AMD was running when the news came out and NVIDIA was going in the other direction. So right about the time, and you'll see Sean's chart in a second for when AMD starts coming into the downside, when that made a move at the open to start flushing, NVIDIA started catching a bit of a bid. So it wicked 470, and I did the whole, well, it tries to break the low, it holds 470, go along the 71 scalp trade. So I did that once. I tried it a second time with a little bit of a tight stop out there. It probably would have worked if I give it more room, but that's not how I'm going to ever play that kind of a game. I had one in and out on a retrace of 475, but I really just played the reversal one time on NVIDIA. if it had gone to 480, I would have been short, but it got to 478, and it didn't quite make that test to the 480 level that we've been waiting around for on NVIDIA, and then started flushing into the downside. So I think the short was missed. At this point, the fact that this is breaking lows, it's just another sort of kink in the old AI armor that NVIDIA is giving it up and down 1.5%, didn't get to that 500 level, double tops on the daily. They're all so strong, but at some point, one of these consolidation tops is going to not just break down the previous breakout level, it's going to take a couple of them out. Like this is stair-stepping to the upside. It'll pull back to the previous breakout zone and then just kind of keep going. Pull back to the previous breakout, keep going. At some point, you're going to get one of those where it goes 2 levels back and tests like the 50 period. I think a lot of people are going to be buying it when it gets down to that 50 period, but at some point this move is going to happen. In front of 500 would make a little bit of sense to me in NVIDIA. We don't get their earnings for a while.
Yeah, they're going to be the exciting one because they went 4x on their earnings estimate. So we're going to have to wait to see what happened. But here earlier on today, we did write down on the sticky note early that we liked an AMD 119 short, and then we put it down here. That news came out, but we still like that 122 area and looking to get short. So it's on here. Thanks, over 9,000 views on the sticky note this morning. So thank you for that. And then basically, there's that 122 trade. So we didn't take it in the pre-market, should have. In hindsight, should have taken that one, but we didn't. So we let that sort of news hit there, came into that 122 level. And why do we like 122? Well, we were just up here just the other day, Friday, and that's where we got railroaded on the way up, and then we made some money on the way back down there. But that was AMD on the daily there, basically. I mean, that's a 20-minute, but it's looking at the daily. And then today, there it is right there. So there's the short, and then there is the the reload as it came right back up to VWAP, shorted it again, nice downside moves. We're still holding this. It broke through. Like I said, we at lunch went over, got that watch looked at. Wasn't here to trade any of this. Should have had an order down here at 116. We'll see if it comes back, but I still like the short today. As long as we're under VWAP, I like this. There's the 200 period, possibly thinking about getting something out at 117 for $1.50, but let's see. I don't want to call a top or anything here on AMD. I think the market still has some work to do to the downside, like I said. So let's hold on to this chip name, and then the one that you didn't trade it today because we would have heard about it, but Intel.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah, 34, 35. I know we like that if my chart loads. Oh, no. Okay. I'm pretty sure we like that 35. Oh, no. Okay. I'm pretty sure we like that 35 area as Intel was recent IPO Intel there. Oh, no, here it was filling out. $34, $35, tongue-in-cheek, of course. Sometimes our charts go to sleep for a couple minutes, so we'll have to wait on that because I haven't looked at it today. So Intel, yeah, if it ever gets near, I mean, we're getting close now, a little bit of a bump up into this 34, 35 area. I think that's going to be a short as well. So that's a name to look at here, INTC, as we do get ready. You mentioned that some of these names. Go ahead. I was just going to talk about when they report next because I don't know.
I wanted to, we didn't mention this, well, maybe we did and kind of glossed it over in the morning. ASML reported before the bell. They're going to report early because they trade primarily in Amsterdam, but they're all advanced chips that are produced essentially in the world use the ASML machine. So their clients are like all the big fabs, like TSM is going to be their big client, Samsung, everybody is going to have to use them. And they upped their guidance today. So the guidance was good, the quarter was good, all that good stuff, but it's down 5%. It's not moving right now, and frankly it won't because when Europe closes, ASML volume pretty much dries up. So you're not going to see any trading action that's worthwhile on this stock, but that's not a great sign. We'll see what happens when it gets to the 50 period. If it can bounce, it's just another bit of weakness in the sector. We'll see what we'll see there. I wish I could tell you that I was short the 35 on Intel. I know exactly what happened here. Like when the AMD news hit, it was like, okay, well AMD and NVIDIA were moving on that, and I wasn't really paying attention to Intel at the open, and that was your only chance to get a trade. Like if you weren't looking at it when it spiked at 9:30, right at the open into 35, and it didn't even give you 35, and since then, nothing's really been all that clear on that name. So I actually don't mind that we missed out on it a little bit. The market is trying to bounce, and I'll tell you what you got to watch out for. We go green. We have a chance to go green. Ooh, that was weird. We have a chance to go green, but we could get into the overnight supply zone. So when we pulled back in the afternoon, you got to this 15.96 area, and then that was overnight supply. That's where we stair step down to. So if we pop into this area and give another like consolidation or wick top through 15.96 into 15.98, that could be a re-enter the short type of deal. And that'll coincide with 4,600, it looks like, on the S&P 500 futures. So I think it's worth looking into that. As a reload zone, that's what I'll keep my eye on for reloading Amazon here. It didn't quite get to VWAP, so that last move back into 135.10. I don't know if I go to the well a fourth time. I need to see the futures hold up. This is making higher lows on me. So I have stopped out once here, but I don't know if I want to stop out a second time on an addition. Like, I don't mind holding on to the trade to let it get into VWAP because it's in the money, but I don't want to reload here unless the futures are giving it up, because Amazon is a strong name I'm going counter trend on. And Tesla, wow. Earnings are after the bell, but they're not wasting any time selling the news here. We're at a 291.30 bottom here on Tesla. Could we see an even 290 before we get to the even power hour at this point? So Tesla, if you were trading this yesterday, there was like a consolidation around 290 before it went, and that was right as we were getting onto the show at 2 o'clock. So I think that's the next level down, would be a 290, maybe a quick little scalp bounce zone. But the market's bouncing, and Tesla, not so much.
Not so much. I was going to talk about that same kind of a break spot there on Netflix of 370, 470 to the downside.
Seriously?
There.
Whoa.
Not 370, yeah, not yet. Tomorrow, 370. Yeah, that could be something there as we're looking at it. I could imagine, actually, Neil. That's the problem with that. I don't want to say that Netflix is going to drop $100.
No, but the first miss last year on Netflix earnings was 25%.
Yeah.
That's not, well, first of all, that's not crazy.
Thank you.
Is
tell that to my wife.
No, what 520? Marissa, that's not crazy.
That's not crazy, Marissa. Sean never has crazy ideas.
It was 520 to 400. If it's this day, that's that candle. 520, 400. Checks math. That's pretty close
Checks
to
math. Yeah,
pretty close to 25%. So 470, 25% off that haircut. I mean, it's not 370 technically, but it's still underneath 400. It's not insane.
Oh man.
It did it twice last year. On earnings.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's enough there to quadunk anything, but I think they do have to, to explain themselves about where they're going with the subscriptions, and then that number could really hit them. But I feel like they've given enough warning about where it needs to go and what numbers they're looking for. So
I got to answer a question here.
Sure, go ahead, man.
Dad Trader, how many coffees have you had today in total? So when we got this tasty coffee, by the way, it is very, very tasty. I've had 2 extras, so I usually have like 2.5 cups. I don't drink one in the afternoon, but this is some good stuff. So I'm at 4.5, which is more than usual.
I was gonna say this is my third. Like, I didn't even get an iced coffee.
It is very good. Even just now, like Fabian on the ones and twos is like, it really is. So like you can tell we're not making up. I'm not very good at pretending whether stuff is really good or bad. Like if I don't enjoy eating something, I can't fake it. I love food. So it is. But
you are doing a good job faking the pineapple on pizza because you know it's delicious. So that's the thing about that on that one. So that's okay.
I know you were going to say that. I shouldn't even react
sometimes
to
just
this
get
anymore.
set up and it's just too easy on that one. But let's just go over a trade idea quickly because we do have a new position right now, and it is Apple, and we're just trying to be the reasonable trader that we are, I feel like. And that is just to short it off 195 again. So Apple just came down, and look, watch this. This is the risk to reward. So people say, how do you build your risk model? How do you build this? How do you do that? And I'm here to tell you, like, no smarter than anybody else. I'm just saying Apple right there just dropped down. The best we got off this was 50 cents, right? We're short at 90. There's the fills at 40. So that's 50 cents. The most it went down was 60 cents. So in order to give this the proper amount of risk there, in order to make these ideas work, you're going to need to put some sort of a risk to reward into here, right? So I was just going to look at, there's 195 up at here, about 20 cents or so. There's that little, I mean, this is what I mean. Sometimes I say like, oh, you're data mining for trades, but like, I don't know. I like to use quarters as my out, and it's right there. That was kind of that dropping spot, 195 quarter. Does make sense to me if that can hit. So I like that trade. We'll see if that can come through here. 95 quarters there for Apple if there is a trade to be had anyways. It'll be that Apple trade for me right there. So I'm just going to, mark that down, see if we can't hit on that as I just make sure that I have enough orders out so I don't have the wrong ones. All right, so that's that. So Apple, I just took another fill. So I'm waiting for a little bit more. The next fill I have is just a little bit north of 195, giving it up there to 195.25. That's a trade, an actionable trade that I have on right now. AMD, okay, where's my out? Now, normally, the problem is I do think the market can fall more from here. It's just I don't really feel like we're at a reloaded spot now for AMD. I mean, a ripping $1 into VWAP would be the dream because we have this 118 spike right there. Like that would be the best trade if we can get anywhere near 118 again and then use that top as our out, 118.10. That would be more comfortable. You put on 1,000 shares, whatever you're comfortable with there, and you can give it like 20, 30 cents worth of room on that one if that did come in. But that would be a trade there for AMD. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold this. The out that I have is, I think it was 117 flat. Yeah, so above the 200 period, right into this level right there of 117. So that's where I'm going to get out of this. Don't want to reload anything yet. Doesn't mean that I won't do that at some point. Watch out for that. Tesla's coming through. I see people talking about.
Yeah, I just did the wick bottom attempt at the long. So it broke 291, got to 290.85. So the second I saw it got underneath. The second I saw that get back above, I went for the long with the stop at the low of the day, but it ran the stops at the bottom. It might still give a bounce, but that's the kind of play I want to make off 91 and hopefully maybe even off 90. But I'm only going to take that little failed break of the bottom and give it a tight stop. And if you risk 20, 30 cents on a trade like that, if it goes to $1, $1.50, counter trend, I really don't mind it. What I don't want to do is risk like $1 on Tesla trying to fight the trend. So I'm going to go for those little wick bottoms. 290 is a good level. We'll go for 290 if it gets to the downside there. I wish I could tell you I reloaded Amazon, but I didn't. There was a question in the chat. Someone said, is there a better way in the charts to visualize your average price? Unfortunately, like when we have these, like we'll show you the fills, but like you can kind of see, I'll tell you, like this is 1341 here on something like Amazon, and our positions are at the bottom, but there's no way for it to put a price automatically on that I'm aware of on P-Pro 8. It's not based for us to be able to show stuff on the show. We just happen to use it that way. So the purple triangles are shorts, the greens are any kind of buy fill. And if you're not sure the exact price, you can always just kind of ask it, but you can see the average price that's being held in the position board on the bottom there. I did not reload on Amazon to the south side just yet. I want to see us get up a little bit higher into that top. I've been shorting the 135.40 level on Amazon into the high of the day, and it's right now at 20s.
Yeah, we actually had a good out on Amazon. I could talk about that. Amazon's the fourth highest stock for me today. But hey, look, shout out to SJ if you're still in the chat. I don't want to say that I didn't talk about this Netflix trade. So we are now short Netflix right in front of everybody, 478. We actually punched that level. It came up. I punched 470. I thought I was going to get better than this. We got 478.02. No idea if this is going to work out for us. But when you just were like, Tesla's breaking lower, and I was like, yeah, well, we are waiting for Netflix 470. And then I went over to Netflix. Like this is right when we came on the show, 470. I was like, that's at 478 right now. So Netflix just came right up, and there's 480, man. So all right, so we'll take that $2. We'll see. That's gonna be $2. Now I want to average up into this trade into 480. Normally I don't want to average into a level like that because when it breaks, then I have more shares on board. But we're gonna start this one off right here at 478. Hopefully we can get it again. It's gonna be $2 worth of risk. So 476 would be 1-to-1. So I don't have any bids out at all on this name. We'll see if we can get it right here. 474, I feel like is a good little level right there for Netflix. And then if it really, like if the market somehow drops off here, which it's going back up to the upside, we probably wants to test that 16,000. So I could see this trade not working out, but we just did have $1. Well, it's $1 right now if you take the bid. A little bit lower for 13's on the bid right now. So there is, there is potential here if you want this trade right now, get it out. But I'm going to wait to see what does happen down here. And this is the other thing. We say it all the time. First of all, hit the like and subscribe. So pause for some moment of silence for Kat here.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Maybe I should have said moment of silence. Kat's right behind us.
She's
so
fine.
Everything is fine. There she is. Kat, big wave, Kat. There she is. Yeah, smiling. So no moment of silence. That was just for the ad. Anyways, no, what I wanted to get at was, we'll have to watch to see what happens here with Netflix up there at that 470. We'll average it into 480. But please hit the like and the subscribe and give the person next to you an Ola for everybody as well. We're going to watch out for that. Okay, so AMD is getting close to getting out there at 117. We talked about that price. And then Apple's getting close to a reload to the sell side. But I just did want to talk about Netflix because, sorry, about the NASDAQ. You know, I still think you're okay. I think you're still okay to short. If you guys are looking for shorts, I still think it's fine. You're well below VWAP. VWAP's actually at 16,000 from what I can see. So I feel like we wait for that to come through in and around. It's higher. That's lower. Sorry, 15,995 if you like that. But I still feel pretty comfortable going short. This is why my averages in are a little bit higher on some of those stocks because I do feel that if we do run back up to 16,000, you don't want to be short now because then you're just going to give everything back. So let's just wait. Apple, very, very small position. We just reloaded 10% of our total that we want. We're going to wait for 195.10. So that's the marker for me, 195.10. Oh, people said that a name, this is true, this is my bad. They said, remember we asked for, or I asked for, and we were both sort of looking for them. What was the next name with a high short float? Well, Upstart.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that was the one thing that we missed.
I shouldn't have missed that.
Yeah, 34%, so less than Beyond Meat, but definitely more news about Upstart.
And it moved today.
Much better, yeah, exactly. Much better sector there with finance and sort of fintech. Upstart is the name there.
Shoot, even Affirm was having a couple of
That
good
was the
days
other
in a
shitty
row.
name, Affirm. I actually crushed Affirm when you weren't here. I went long.
I saw that chart.
Yeah. I went long 17. AFRM. That was shout out to Shakib on that one. Affirm. Wow. Affirm 5 billion. Wow. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Okay. Their short float's not as bad. 17. So Affirm just kind of fits. It's still not a great short float, but fitting the bill there for a kind of a normal short float. But that Upstart, yeah, no wonder why UPST is really getting going here today. Up to 57, really taking off. Again, I'm sure there is a stock out there. There was Buzz, I think, was shout out to Dave Portnoy. Yeah, when are you coming on, bro? You know. But there was some ETFs out there like a Buzz that was sort of going long all these meme buzzy names out there. I really kind of wonder if there's like another one that's almost like a reverse of that, where you get some of these names that are really flying to the upside and then you know they're coming back down at some point, and you just don't want to play the individual name. I wonder if there is, and there probably is, and people in the chat, unite. There probably is an ETF out there.
An ETF for like all the highest short names?
Yeah, they just add to Carvana every day.
I kind of feel like that would make trading those names so much more fun because
I would just trade the ETF.
The level of swings that would cause would be almost insane. Like it would be amazing. I don't know if there is something out there, but you guys let us know if there's something.
Is Sting in the rafters up there?
I've never heard of that. I have to update because I did take that Tesla move again. So we did it once, it didn't work. We did it twice, it did work. It wicked the bottom again on Tesla through that 290.85. The local low was 75, so I went long on the way back up. I actually got two fills, one at 90 and then one just at even, so my average price was like 94, 95. Was able to get a fill there up above 291, 291.5, but it's right back at the low. So just these little pot shots at every single low. We're going to keep taking them on Tesla until it gets to 290, or I don't think we're going to VWAP, but if we can break 292 and get into 293, that'd be great for potential hold. We'll see what happens, man. I've never heard of this. The thing about, there's an ETF for everything, but I just feel like you get I feel like you get way more risk if you just had these ETFs coming out of the woodworks. Oh my goodness, Tesla just went again. I was going to go talk about C3AI in a second, but Tesla just broke the low again. So keep taking the shots at it, but take your wins and then make sure you have a stop because it's trending into the downside. That's how you can stay green on your moves. Otherwise, you're just averaging in and it gets ugly, ugly, ugly. Oh, yes. Meta. Oh, my goodness. How did I miss that?
Bubba Sparks.
Keeping it ugly.
You get ugly,
Up in here.
ugly.
He had a couple other joints, too, but
Up in here.
just give me a minute. I'm going to make sure everything turns out lovely. That's the other one.
mean,
I'm a BI, just trust me.
Traders.
What's that guy doing
Traders,
now?
MCs. You know, got some Paul Wall. Come on.
How we get from Bubba Sparks to Paul Wall?
Well, they're boys.
I know. Yeah. But like one of them had more than one album. Maybe he had a second album. I have no idea if Bubba Sparks had a second album.
I don't know, man, but I candy coated my car because of these guys. So, all right, let's go. What
else we got?
Netflix still 50 cents. Okay, so we're getting close to Apple. We're getting close to Apple. I mean, hopefully we can get that fill. So I did take another 10% at 90. 8 or 97. Well, you see the fill right there, so 97, let's call it, because we were just missed our print by 2 pennies. Or sorry, 1 penny. I'm at 195.09. Right there is 08 that we just, there we go, let's zoom in. We just went to 08, oops, we just went to 08 right there. So hopefully we'll get filled, or 07. Hopefully we'll get filled on that one if it does come back in. So we're waiting for that one. That's going to be Apple. Let's look at something else now. What else can we trade? I'm just looking to see if there's anything hitting on the scanners right now. Yeah, we already know about Microsoft. I don't want to talk about that. We've already talked about it. Let's check out our...
I don't know what this is.
Let's check out Ford.
CLBR?
CLBR?
I saw a couple people in the chat mentioning CLBR.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll have to
last
ask
week,
Brendan
last
what
week's name.
CLBR, what the deal is. It's super strong, but this is like that Spac that went ham. So this is the Spac, right? Yeah, the one that went ham yesterday. So I don't know why it's doing this. Like, this was a huge gong show, or it just defecated all over itself. It was a shit show yesterday, gong show. Who cares? We go from 14 underneath the Spac price of like 10 to 9. Like, that's nasty. But for it to be running and making highs is insane. There's no stop in sight. I haven't even seen this halt once. So you go 9 to 16 without any halts, and it just made a wick top. So low float Spac runner. I don't know, what do we have here?
No, they are a SPAC. It looks like they got approved, a business combination with Patriotic Marketplace Public.
Whatever that is.
So I guess CLBR, if that's what it is, I guess. So they found their match.
There you go.
So that's what that is. And oh yeah, because see, look, just we're gonna go to Brandon in a second. He's gonna explain this, but that's how you know. You see, this is how you know it was a SPAC. Yeah. Right, $10. You get your money in at 10 and hope that there's a deal. And if not, they return your money at $10, and all you lose is time value of money. Brendo.
I'm just double checking here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe anyone out there that knows. Yeah, it is that, I think. This is the company that has just done the advertising deal with Tucker Carlson's new Twitter show. So I think that's part of the hype around this stock. So it's again, they just did an advertising deal apparently with Tucker Carlson's new show.
Getting the kind of run that it's having. Maybe not shorting that one just yet. But Tesla just made the move underneath. It just broke the 290. It just broke 290. The local bottom was 290 and a half. Oh goodness. I should have had some fills underneath there. I don't want the evens just yet. I just want to have a stop in place. I'm throwing a stop before I even get long at the local bottom. That way I can punch in at any point and not have to worry about throwing a stop. Want the beak above 290, but I want a money fill underneath if I can even get it. I doubt it's going to happen. I just got 15s long. The money fill is underneath 290. I didn't get any of those. Checking Amazon, that seems like it's okay. The market is not exactly screaming to the upside.
What is it doing?
It's just like
because Apple's going here.
Apple's the only thing looking super strong. Like, this is what the market's doing. We're still underneath, kind of trending to the downside. So I don't really want to get overly aggressive getting away from the bottom, trying to go long. Because it's been a downward trend. The market's going to stay red here. So I'm going to keep taking these shots. The 290 fail break, if it is a fail break, has to hold the 289.5. Otherwise, you just simply get out of Dodge. I was supposed to talk about Meta. I knew I was missing something. Meta got all the way up to almost VWAP. 315 looks like 315.5 was a big level earlier, but 315 is VWAP right now. That $0.50 underneath has been resistance. So a break of 314.5 on Meta gets pretty bullish if the futures want to make a run. Otherwise, this has been a pretty shortable level on some reloads. I'm making my bones here with the Tesla. Apple, you're still in Apple. What is Apple doing?
It's starting to go up, but the market's not.
Maybe
but
you can drag some Tesla with it.
We have our. Oh, you went long Tesla? Yeah, we have our outs here for Apple. It is, you know, I mean, we'll give back 25% today. Yeah, it's a little bit, probably a little bit too much of a give back just on the Apple trade, not of our net.
Oh, PAC-W's at 10.
Yeah, I was going to look at Charles Schwab because someone in the chat, what's up to Cheddar, wanted to talk about Charles Schwab quickly. But
I'm taking the PAC-W break.
That's what I was going to say. If PAC-W's at 10, that's a much more exciting trade right there. Watch out for PAC-W with the short flow. We'll have to check out that one as well. Coming up to $10, what a psychological level that is. So I think that's a mistake not to do that. So yeah, I'm going to put in this stop order right now. Oops, that's
29%.
That's the wrong order.
Short float on PAC-W.
Yeah,
29%.
So that's gone then. Okay, Apple's gone, by the way. That's a fail. We'll slap that one out right now on Apple. We'll try a PAC-W break. Yeah, that was really strange there. Look at Apple. Apple really, Okay, so we gave some back. I mean, that's what it is, giving back, as they say, but not to a charity, just donated to Warren Buffett. There,
Well, we give back every single day.
You short, yeah.
We give back to the viewers every single day.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we do around
that's
here.
true, yeah.
We're putting on a free show for everybody, and we're talking our ideas in the markets. We trade, we win some, we lose some, and everything in the middle, and we give you breaking news when it happens. That's what this show is all about. We're just kind of giving back to the trading community because we love it. But we actually, this got mentioned 2 days in a row, Pac W, this bottom, because you had Western Alliance earnings, and we said Western Alliance, which is going like crazy today, Pac W, had big time resistance at 10. This is 10 on the daily chart, or 980. It's trying to break the 10 even as we speak. There's about, let me just pull my level 2 down, 100,000 shares, give or take, on the offer at 10. So I just want to break out if it takes out that level. For some reason, I have an NVIDIA level 2 up there. But yeah, I'm taking a 10 long. Hopefully we get something like 1s or 2s on the break, give it back into 990 initially, and see where it can go. I didn't actually get meta short because if I get the short, I kind of wanted it to be above 314 into these wicks. So maybe I just missed an opportunity to be short meta here, to go into Tesla long, which is just weird. But that's, sometimes you have this weird divergence in stocks where you can be long something that you wouldn't think I'd be looking for a short in a big 7 or a big tech name, and then be long one of the other ones. But in this market, you can do that if you're taking very specific types of entries. Like a failed break at the bottom is like just kind of a momentum setup, and then you're looking for a technical setup on a short in meta, and both of them have tight stops, so you can kind of do both at the same time.
A little upset about that Apple trade because, like, looking back at it, there's too much resistance up there at 195.50. I should have waited for that. Here, this is what I'm. That's okay. So I did the math. So I gave back 5% of my day. So I gave back 20% of my Apple trade, 5% of the day, roughly, on that trade. So I'm not happy about it. But this is the short up here, like 196. But again, we broke above VWAP, and I'm trading a name against the news. So that was a problem there. Much better poison to be picked. Pick your poison than that one for sure, because shorting that was a mistake. Look at this trade through Amazon, taking out the day's high at the time. There was the pre-market break of 134. Love that. There's the out there 135.15. And I saw, because I saw that you're short this, I wanted to go back over it. This is the name that you want to be short. Something in this area here, because exactly what you have. 40, like you're up here at 50s for 135.50. That's the short there. Especially if you think the market's going to break. We've seen some good supply up there, and that's that. So let's go over to Google right now, because that was just Amazon.
What's the purple line on that chart?
Purple? What, this 21 period moving average from Max.
You know what messes me up is because he has it one color and you have it another
Yeah,
color.
he has it the teal there. I just didn't want to take his teal. But right there, 122.60. Yeah, I mean, Google's already, like I said, like if I short Google, I'll be mad again that I did that, because it's not really at some good levels. So I think everybody knows kind of the style that I'm looking for right now. We could check out for Uber, as that just came across. Quick scanner. Uber, of course, is a New York name. If it loads up there, 47, that seems low for Uber. Has it already moved down today? Yeah, so 0.5. Yeah, no, yeah, so Uber, yeah, so that's what I mean. So again, if it's up here, like somewhere around here, near that 48, that would be a level. But what is pulling back down a little bit here is AMD, is then that, you know, that move's continuing downside, right? And you can see where I like the trade. You don't need to put something on just for shits and giggles. I'm not going to do that. Like, our day is huge. This is for me the best day of the month for me so far. So I'm not, you know, we've already made that money early and in the middle of the day. There's a great trade for AMD, unless something else sort of bottles up there. Maybe that 117, that was our out. So we could have gone short there. That's something as well. But again, why not just wait to see if you get 70 cents worth of a bump on that? All right, the other trade that we have on board right now that could go sour, who knows, is this Netflix trade. We just got a 479 short, roughly, on that one. So kind of like Tesla went down and touched that 290, which was the bottom of the day. Netflix did the same thing. It touched 470 down there and then ripped up 10 bucks from that level. So our average price, you guys asked about average price. I mean, I have no out, so it's going to calculate it fine. So there it is right there, 478.41 right now. So we're flat on the trade here for Netflix. At this point, if we can get a 77 fill, I think that would be, shout out to Phil. What's up, Phil? Hope you're doing well. 477 right there, I think, would be a decent out, and then we'll hold the rest for that move back in. But if we do get a flush in the market, we should put an order out just in case Netflix does come through. So 477 flat or so on that one, because this is just not moving. I mean, the market's trying to go back up. Netflix is just chilling out there. It's not great to trade names into earnings for sure, but again, this looks pretty good for me. So we'll wait to see there. That top is 480.20. I don't really think it matters. If we take 480, you probably hit that level as well. So 480.20 stop or so on Netflix.
That's the kind of play. Like at these levels, I saw in the chat, it was really good advice. Like you don't have to make a trade. You were just saying that, but like you can sit on your hands. There's nothing wrong with that. Or find trades that are like very, very like tight stop, low risk, where like being wrong it's easy to know where you're wrong and it's almost instantaneous. Like it bounces off the bottom, if it retakes the low, you're just out. You short Netflix off the high, takes the high, you're out. Like it's nothing overly complex about that, and that's all I want to do until something really obvious sets up. So Tesla, you're trading Netflix.
Yep.
Tesla, they're both reporting tonight. This is the third time I've done that trade. It was lose, mixed. I actually got out twice for a win, so that was a win. And now I want all out at this 291.5. I want to take that quick $1.50 because that's the breakdown that failed the last time on the move. I'll take it and run. It just crossed the dollar mark. I'm going to move my trail up here, because now I don't want it underneath 291. And that's what I kind of mean. Like just tighten things up a little bit and don't necessarily, you don't have to look for the home run. You don't have to look for the overly complex trade. Just go with what's simple. While all this is going on, I am still in ATVI. I don't really see another, like I don't have an entry point in this stock unless it does a big wick up to like 92.5 or 93. Or move down into 92 for the long. So I've just been sitting in the short off the 50 level. It broke VWAP. I got a fill at 17. I'll be out of it if it gets down to 92 even. So that is working out for me. Tesla just gave me that fill, so we'll ring the register 291.5. And again, like if you just look for those little mini bottoms, all you have to do is ensure that you get out when it runs your stop, but then give it the chance to make the move for you. And that's a little way to add to your profit at the end of the day. Amazon is right back up at that top. So the real question is, do I want to reload with these futures looking strong? I'm going to opt with allow it to make a run at the high of the day, which is 135.62. If it runs up there without breaking, then I'll try to go short. But let's let it get a little bit higher. At least I'll let it get a little bit higher, make a run at that top. If it doesn't break the top, I'll try to get it on the way back down instead of on the way back up, because this is pretty strong, this move to the upside. Zion, Lala, you're with me on Tesla, bang, bang. It's a setup. I like that setup. You can work it with the long or short, and you'll be in and out in a couple of minutes. And it's a very day trader type of move there. So ring that register. Congratulations. What else is going? Nvidia's wicking up. Yeah, if so many things are going to the upside, all the more reason to be really cautious with this Amazon off the high of the day, given that is there another big cap tech name that is at the high of the day and up 2%? I'm going to say no, so no need to rush back into this short.
Yeah, that's a good one because you have that protection. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
There's probably not.
I don't think there's anything.
Too many more tech names that are up there.
I'm checking my quote board just to be sure. Bitcoin broke 30,000. That's why Coinbase is moving. Peloton's up 8% today.
Yeah, it's up almost $10.
Oh, the camera's on me as I'm doing that
Qualcomm's
too.
a good
Great.
one today.
You guys got me making a stank face of Peloton being up 8%. That's a little bit shocking to me. But yeah, what else is up? Qualcomm, you said?
Yeah, Qualcomm's up, Oracle. I mean, there's some of this. SoFi is pretty good. Alibaba's pretty good today. Disney up 1.5. Yeah, XPEV up 5%. XPEV. Okay, so here's a break right now. We're just sitting in everything right now and waiting for Netflix. I got close to getting more shares there. 479.70 went to 479.60. We'll wait to see on that one. But here's the trade, man. I mean, so right now you're sort of coiling up here. Looks like it wants to break. So I mean, we were already down at $8.
I swear if it doesn't break, I'll be so mad.
850. So if it can go, we did talk about the short float on this name, and if it does break, I mean, why not give it to the 50 period at least, which is only 10 cents. Then you have the 200 period down here at 980, then the ultimate bottom of 975. Possible break lower on that. If you reject the 10, that would sort of be the target. So I'd say, like, if you're going to go short now, you're targeting about 25 cents or so, right back into 975, or even a little bit less. Maybe if you want to take 10 cents on that, that's fine. That was the previous high of the day. So if you're able to get short 10, it's a little dangerous. There wasn't a lot of size on that level. I don't think. No. So, you know, that could get wiped out. We talked about where we like it. I'm pretty exhausted right here as we go. But there's Netflix.
I have the solution.
Yeah, more coffee. But
it is delicious.
Yeah, it is very, very delicious. But no, I'm going to wait on this one and just give it a little bit of work here for Netflix. So we're already at that 480.20 marker. We're out $1 on this trade. I think it's worth it. I think this is worth $1.50 worth of risk. We just took a third. So that's why you see the average price right now at 478.
Oh, I wanted to show something.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because someone made a comment, they're like, well, you're drinking twice as much coffee, you're not going to sleep tonight. I don't know if you can see on my Whoop. Like this shows like, if I do that, like this is my recovery for my little fitness tracker. I have a red recovery for the first time this month, which basically means I didn't sleep very well and I'm going to be a little bit tired. So a little bit extra caffeine when I have a red recovery day helps me to stay. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit faster, but just the mind stays a bit more sharp. So when I have a red recovery day, I generally drink a cup or two more of coffee. And you know what? When I was camping, I had my only all green recovery week, and all of my sleep was through the roof. Like every single one of my metrics, every day that I was camping was at their highs. And every time we camp, it's exactly the same thing. There's something about being out in nature that
it's fresh air.
It's that, but like for some reason, sleeping with the ambient sound, it does wonders for me. Doesn't mean I'm going to start sleeping outside because...
No, but you can play the sound. There's little sound.
We have a machine, and I do better with it, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
It's for some reason, it's just not the same thing. I'm sure there's like a thing about that you guys can tell us all about, but Pack W, it would be really sexy if you could just break that 10, because I don't want to sit there staring. I put a level 2 on that stock, and now what's going to happen is I'll sit through Power Hour waiting for either Amazon, I just got to reload because it didn't break the high, either Amazon break the high or fall back down, Pack W break the top and give me the long or do nothing. Tesla, thank you very much for me getting out and it continuing to run to the upside. Maybe somebody is continuing to hold that long. I decided not to. Take the money and run does mean you give up profits if it continues. That's just how it's going to be. Sometimes you set up a trade that way and it continues to break out. If we see 16,000 again, I will be shocked. But we've seen crazier things in this market, which seems to want to go green in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, we got, we'll have to sub another fail on that one because we're going to give some back there on Netflix. We tried that one. I mean, I was pretty happy going short against that. We'll lose about $1.50, like I said. We get 480.40 there on the break higher of breaking through 25, whatever that day's high was. So 15 cents worth of slippage, you know, 40s, whatever. The average price was 80s, right? So it was 88 or something like that. So $1.40, $1.60. 40. $1.60 worth of a hit there for that one. So we will slap a fail on Tesla and just try to work around and find something else. That's why I was looking right now. I don't know if Pac West is going to go. I hope it does. But I was looking at AMD again, maybe off of right there, but it's not. It's just 117. Like if I take it, I got to get out. I got to get out if it breaks it. So, I mean, I'm getting out anyways on that trade soon. So we're $1.50 in the money. We'll see what happens. We could take the profit and run, but this could be a decent spot as well again for this trade. But honestly, like right now, we're just kind of throwing trades at the wind here and see if they're going to work. Shopify was great. I mean, we had Shopify last week. We talked about this at $60. Now it's at $68. So hopefully you guys are still long this name. Oh wow, it was at $70 yesterday. This was again, you know, there's that 60 that we had. That was a great long. Breaks through 65, starts to making new highs. But yeah, Shopify, great trade there. We'll see what's doing today. For Shopify.
Amazon just broke the high of the day there.
Oh, Amazon got taken out as well.
Yeah, so I just went, I reloaded it at 50.
Everything wants to go.
And it just took out that top at 62, so I'll be out of that. That was, I mean, I'm still short ATVI, but you guys get the idea. That's a buyout deal with Microsoft, so it probably doesn't care what the market does. So I can hold on to that, and it's probably fine. But Amazon's super strong. I'm thinking, why am I not wanting a breakout on Amazon? But I don't want to just blindly take it. You have clear room to the upside for at least $1 here to last week's top. And the market wants to even go green and hold it. Amazon should be the stock to be in. So sometimes you think about it first and then you wish you hadn't, but that's not how you should operate, right? Like I'd rather consider the trade and then end up missing it up because I considered it than make a reflex action to reverse something that I just lost in. Because what ends up happening is if you reverse every trade, you can just, like if I reversed it here, how good does that look? I was still believing in the short the last time it broke the high. So now I'm kind of reconsidering it given what's happening in the futures, and it might mean that I've missed my chance to be long off of 135.50 area. I might still get a chance if it pulls back. That's what we can hope for here. I have 6 consecutive green candles on Tesla. It's now 4 on the 3-minute chart. Same thing on Amazon. And on the ES and NASDAQ, you're essentially the last 45 minutes green. So they're all 15-minute candles of green and bouncing to the upside. If we hold green on the NASDAQ, I think you'll want something long into the imbalances. But the test is, can we hold on to green? We're exactly flat on the NQ.
I'm not willing to risk anything on Netflix anymore, but I feel like, you know, we just touched 481. We got a nice little spike there in volume. The NASDAQ's trying to turn around. I mean, remember when we started the show, I said the NASDAQ probably, you know, looks like it wants to go back to 16,000. It came pretty close to that. Just got 18 handles away and right into that level again, right there where it's trying to, where it's trying to stop out some traders before that $16,000 level, but you still have about 15,993, something like that, right there on that level. Remember, there is a big earnings report coming through, a couple of them aftermarket, with Tesla and with this name right here, Netflix. So yeah, a little stupid sometimes to trade these names into the close, but yeah, I'm going to stay away from Netflix, but that kind of wouldn't be a surprise to me. I only have one position left on. What came out? Nothing. Okay, it was just Netflix. All right. So here we go. So we have reloaded this trade against 117. This is just an idea where I think the risk to reward is forever in our favor right now, because this is 10 cents worth of risk. We just reloaded it right now. We'll see. Here it goes. If it breaks 117, we've talked about that right now on AMD. I just like this for a pullback, possibly into the 60s there, and then that would give you the 3 to 1 or so on that. And if we could do that with only 30 minutes and 40 minutes until the imbalances come out, 20 minutes until the early look, I think that's pretty good. I mean, even if you get something down to 80 or so to take 20 cents on this short or so, that's not bad either. But it feels like the market does want to break higher. So this one could be out and then we'll be flat. And then we got to regroup because we want to put on some more trades for everybody and see if there is an opportunity to get a better price on something right now. I mean, nothing's happening. I mean, AMC, I keep seeing that as a VWAP break, but I'll just show it.
AMC?
It's not doing anything. That's why I want to bring it to everyone's attention, because it's just, I'm getting it on the scanner.
Oh, I know the one.
It's not doing anything. It's just doing this. So there's AMC today. Looks like a barcode, not doing much. I don't think there's much of a short flow left on AMC, but there could be. I'm going to say in the teens.
You know why you can't trade that anymore?
Why?
It's because
Still says 30%.
That whole
we have APE.
The conversion thing with APE throws every move out of whack, just because there's that big hedge trade that people, you have big hedge funds that are putting a hedge on between the two, which is skewing everything. So it doesn't even matter like how shorted the thing is. There's a stock blowing up my scanner, which is THRX, but I don't know. I'm kind of fixated on Amazon and maybe thinking about a long there, but like this stock is on my scanner, and I look at it and it's a $3 name. It did the move already, and it's got a 2 or 3 cent spread every single time, which I generally don't like. If you're trading a small cap stock like this under $5, I want to see a 1 cent spread, because that tells me what the liquidity is what I'm expecting, and it's not too thin. So a little too much slippage, and it's already pulled back in. That's the only small cap I'm seeing that's moving. But Amazon is moving to the upside. I didn't reverse it. By the time I decided I wanted to get the long off that previous high break, it's now like 20 cents away. Maybe I go for a 136 even break on Amazon. Until then, I'm looking for the dip buy into the previous high. So if it pulls back in, I'm looking for that previous top of 135.60, and we'll try to get the long on the way back, especially with the NASDAQ doing this. Like if we break back out here, get to 16,000, I mean, obviously you're going to want to long into it. Amazon feels like the one if it's not going to be Apple, because I don't necessarily see an entry into Apple that I like. I wish I had gone back to the well at that 194.50. Woulda, coulda, shoulda is no good. That's why I'm on to Amazon, where at least I have a setup I like.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. It is all about that setup. Let's just check in on Carvana, see if that's doing anything really quickly. What's our Netflix doing? Nothing. Okay. Well, still doing something. Carvana. All right, a little bit of barcode action there. I checked the short float on the APE shares. It's 3%. So yeah, there's not until that sort of gets all sorted out and we figure out what exactly is happening there, which I guess maybe more people would know about that than I would. So that's something there. Carvana. Looks like it's trying to go to the downside. We can get unlimited shorts here, but I don't want a name up 30% into or after earnings. Pass. When is Rivian's earnings? Because Rivian is another name here that's going for a run again, but you're coming right back into, again, another level right here that we had some areas of support coming through near 25 bucks before that dropped. Then we got all the way down to that bottom of the day, which coincides with the close yesterday, 24.60. So, you know, that could be something. Again, I was looking for something that could be
August 8th.
August 8th, so still
Still a ways away.
Still nothing there. Texas Instruments. Oh, we talked about Qualcomm being up today. I'm not trying to like pick and choose. I'm trying to pick and choose the best opportunities. That's for sure. I'll forever do that. But for right now, yeah, just trying to see, is there something that's available to us that looks a little bit better than everything else, right? Qualcomm up that 2%. This is getting close to VWAP right now. I'd rather get a name that's red close to VWAP, but again, this might be something. And I'm not just a VWAP trader. I'm trying to see if there's anything that sort of is around that level. And this one could be a decent trade. 125.80 right there. Just trying to find names that could dump out a little bit here. Qualcomm, not actually, now that I look at it, not really in love with it. This is one, of course, that we like, AMD. We talked about that. We're short now. Tesla's ripping probably up, right?
It just got to 93.
93. Okay, you're still in it.
No,
okay.
I took that move to 91 and a
Took
half.
the Amazon long.
I went Amazon reversal on this little bit of we'll call it like a rubber band trade. Like it breaks out, it snaps back on the breakout, retests the previous high, and then once I see it bounce off the previous high, I go into the long and give it to the local bottom, which is at 58. So it's not the same setup as like Tesla at the low, but it's the same kind of concept because I'm buying a little bit of a dip in there. So I'm giving it to 135, essentially 58. It doesn't really matter. No one's hunting the stop just because I said it. Everyone can see where it pulled back to. And then if it gets to the high of the day, I want to scalp some out. And the reason for that is 136, I think, is a breakout. Like you're above resistance on Amazon, and you've got a 136 half top in there. So I think the scalp trade every 50 cents until it gets to that high is gonna make sense. The scalp trade every 50 cents will make some sense, so we'll go ahead and do that. But if it gets to 136, I'm probably out of the majority of this current little bit of a dip buy. So risk to reward, it's a pretty tight one, and then we'll look to add on the way up. Tesla, as I was just saying, you know, you go for in the afternoon, like when you have time as a limit. Sean and I are day trading here, so we have to be out of all of our trades at 4 o'clock. So in the afternoon, sometimes you look for like that defined risk, defined out move, and you end up being wrong for having taken it because it continues to run. So I made the call Tesla where it failed on my second long is where I was going to get out in front. If it showed any weakness, it did. I got out, and it ran another $1.50. So that's going to end up happening. It sucks. 295 was a brick wall after this huge volume candle at 12.21. So I think 25 could be an area to go short. We'll see what happens if it gets there. But this is now super strong. If we see 16,000, I'm not sure you want to be fighting any of those shorts. So first out there, 1-to-1 on Amazon. We'll see if we can get the top. And then a 136 breakout to the long side. And we'll be spiking that one down, hopefully on a 136 break. If PAC-W doesn't break this top soon, I will eventually cancel this order to break out long. As long as it's, you know, it's 317 now, at some point you run out of time to want a breakout trade, but we're not there yet. I'll still take the break on PAC-W through 10, but I'll give it to maybe 330 and then then reassess because you want time for it to rally before the imbalances come out, and if it doesn't do that, then I don't want a breakout trade that late.
All right, so we put another order in. We got close to getting more shares short on Amazon, or on Apple, but we didn't there. Disney is trying to go a little bit here, trying to break out. This is not a horrible trade, actually, for Disney. Now that I see this, let's go over here. Again, just trying to think about playing breakouts a little bit because of what the market's been doing right now, breaking out. And I mean, there's the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, we talked about this 16,000, and it's coming right up to VWAP again. So maybe it is a short on a weaker name. I don't, honestly, right now I'm kind of like stuck here. I don't really know what I think about this market right now, but it seems like it wants to go back up to the upside. I'd rather play the short ahead of all these big earnings today, but it doesn't look like the market wants to give us any of these shorts. So it is a downside, gamble if you want to take that. It looks like we are breaking just a little bit higher right now. What's up, Brendo?
Just double checking on BlackRock here. This just happened. Remember, BlackRock was one of the submissions for a Bitcoin spot ETF. So huge volume spike here and pop for BLK. Not seeing anything yet, though, guys.
All right, maybe a Coinbase. I mean, Coinbase, the way that one started going nuts the other day was insane.
Coinbase, my level of frustration on Coinbase today. So Coinbase ends up being my worst stock. In the morning, it actually was ATVI, but Coinbase will be my worst stock, despite this. I was kind of patient with it, but if you have a stop, you can adhere to it. I decided not to give it to the high of the day. What's interesting is even if I had given that short to the high of the day, I still get stopped out. And it would have been an absolute monster through that 110, because it rejected 110 and pulled back to 105. Exactly where I wanted it to get to is where it got to, but it doesn't matter if it runs your stop. You got to have an out for every single trade. So when I see that, I'm not really even mad at it, because the other side of it is if I don't place my stop and put the risk on that I want and just decide to fight it, well, what happens if it squeezes to 112 and 115? Then you've ruined your day on a single trade, and you never wants to do that. So 30,000 broke. You saw BlackRock there. Coinbase just broke $1 to the upside. It's worth saying 112 has been a big level on Coinbase on the daily chart. So if it gets there, there might be a quick little scalp trade, maybe even a breakout through that high if things get frisky. Amazon slowing up after that first take. I still wanted to get to the high, take another out there. Then I want to add on a 136 break. As long as we're still trending up, which we are, I'm thinking about take my profit, get an even dollar break, add. My goodness, Tesla. You got to be kidding me, Tesla. Well, see, sometimes, like I said, you get out a little bit early and then it's absolutely on a tear, but that's the setup you're looking for. The wick through the bottom, grab it off the lows. We're only looking to go long off those wicks. It gave the win, but it was twice as big as even I thought, and Carvana's going. See, this is what happens, man.
Yeah.
Carvana getting off the schneid as well. Rising tide lifts all ships today. Speaking of which, we got the energy going here. Let's
like and subscribe today.
Because the only thing not bullish right now is the count. The count's at 564.
Ouch.
We have 4,600 people watching our free show, and Amazon just got to the high of the day. Thank you very much. Bring the register there. And only 560 likes. We can get to 1,000. We doubled it up in the afternoon in the last 20 minutes because everybody was excited at the great trading. And we're going to give you the early look on the imbalances. If there's anything big like there was yesterday, and we'll be able to show you anything when it flips. There was a huge 355 flip that gave you great entry points this week. So we'll give you that live as well when the imbalances hit at 350 and then again at 355 when they eventually move. Vana's high, I'm not saying it's going to break the high. Not saying that at all. But Carvana's top was that 59 and change, 59.30. So a 60 break would be absolutely insane. First step, 55. Next step, maybe the moon. I don't know if I want to break that late in the day, but that'd be pretty sexy. Pac W's at 10, so maybe we get that break.
All right, I was waiting for some more short in Apple, or getting short in Apple. That didn't come through. Yeah, PAC-W is at 10. I just want to talk about Palantir right here. This is a good trade, I think, too. What about 1808 break? So if we can break through 1808, we can have an 18 bottom and take 8 cents worth of risk for a nice upside move. Again, the market's just kind of tipsy-turvy here. Again, you'd had to have had expected this. And we talked about a run to 16,000. That's what we just wicked high there at 16,000. So, that's another marker right there to come into play. It's a straight upside move. I told you I was preferring the shorts. So, when you put on some shorts there and it doesn't work out, that is what you get right there. And it's a nice upside move. So again, congratulations to those of you that believed in that short. But here is PAC-W. Like Neil said, I'm ready for this. Let's just see where it goes. It's at 10. It's trying to fade out a little bit here. Just printed a bunch of 999s right there. Look at that stop spot, 990. Feel like that's probably going to be a good out if we do fail. Here it goes. All right, I'm going to get punched in.
There it is.
Did I not get punched in? No, not yet. Okay. We'll wait to see.
I'm in.
I was waiting for 10.02 print, so we'll see on that one. Looks like we are going to get in. I mean, whether or not I'm in at 02s or O's should be relatively the same. Let's just see if there is any follow through. Wow, talk about no follow through at all.
That is terrible.
That's terrible. Right there. We'll see if it comes back to 990. Maybe that's a spot you want to take it now.
I'm getting out. So if it goes down to 990, I'll take a second break. I don't think I've seen on a stock that has, what do we say, 32% short float or whatever the heck I saw. It was big, and it breaks a 10 level, and there's zero volume above. I'll get out 2 cents and look for another trade there. Maybe it's a retake of the high. Maybe it's bouncing off 990 and had to rinse some people there. But this late in the day, get in, get out, and I don't mind if that was too tight. And I want it to work right away. Like this dip buy in Amazon had to work right away. I got a break to go more long at 136. I want that to work right away as well. Because we're running out of time on the day, so we'll take those wins if we can get them. Nice resistance bound on Tesla. Zolt the Bolt just said.
Zolt the Bolt.
I love that freaking name. That's a great name, by the way, in the chat. I love it. Stands out for sure. I don't know if that's 94. I kind of thought 95. Yeah, I like 95 for resistance on Tesla. However, right here where it's turning around is where it closed yesterday. So this would be green to red, red to green, right in this price area. But that's meant literally nothing today. It's just kind of been choppy around these levels. So 95's had a little more clarity to it throughout the day. So I would wait for that price. You can get in into, oh goodness. Yeah, good one, sexy man. You can get in and out quickly there if it's too tight. Pac W, maybe not the one today. We're looking at Carvana as well. But I'm really hesitant to take a late breakout in Carvana. Pac W, you can risk 3 or 4 cents. Carvana, like if you take a break here at 56, you might lose $1 if you're not fast enough. You might be able to reduce it to like 25 to 30 pennies there. So you're really needing it to make a big move into 58 if you're going to take a breakout on Carvana. That's why I wanted Pac W, because you could risk 3 or 4 cents to just get a quick 10, 20 cent move and then maybe even 50 to $1 when you hold on to the rest for the dream. That's kind of what I'm going for. So Amazon could break. Coin short, AJ.
Is it
I'm hesitant to want to short coin here. That's not a New York stock, it's a NASDAQ stock. You're above 30,000 on Bitcoin. I get it. I see what you're going with here. This is pretty much the exact price I shorted in the morning and lost, and that was the right time to do it. It was just the wrong execution for me. I see what you're going with. It's just a matter of where the out is. Like you could short it here to the local high or to 110. I just don't think you can put on the short to the high of the day. I would not risk it to the high of the day here. If you're stopping out to the top or to 110, that makes a little bit of sense to me. I'm staying away from the short until we're resolved underneath 16,000 on the NASDAQ. But we just tagged it. I don't want to break out of 16,000 late, and then I'm trying to go the other direction.
All right. We just got long Palantir. I mean, we got long 1807 change there because it did break. It touched 08. That's the key for me on that break higher there. But and then it just did nothing. So I don't know. It kind of feels like a little bit like that Pac W trade. But we're going to give this one a little bit more room just because we do have this down here. A little bit of protection down there for 18. Like I said, it's actually exhausting to try to find some of these trades because there's really, I want to try to give like that Max Lambo trade, where it is right here. But I just don't, there it is. I just don't see anything right now that great. I mean, here goes Pac W again. So, I mean, maybe.
I'm taking it again.
Yeah, maybe a break again right now on PACW. There it is right now, 10.01s. I was still waiting for that 10.02. Kind of just fluky that we didn't get in the first time because I don't hate on the trade any more or less than I did the first time. It's just we didn't have to suffer a couple penny hit there. I was going to get longer at 990 if it came back in, but it didn't do that. So right now it looks like we have a trade coming through here for the long on Pac W and hoping that hits sooner rather than later. There it goes, breaking back down below again.
Wow.
On that. Palantir did come back up. I don't mind that trade. Sometimes it's good to be lucky and lucky to be good. Well, I feel pretty lucky that we got out of right there on Netflix. The long was right. We talked about that, having a trade into earnings. There it goes. To lose $1.50 on that idea isn't horrible in my opinion. Still lost it. We have given back about 10% of our day so far here today on the last two trades, one of them being AMD, which again, that short, Like, that's 10 cents, but still an L on that for sure. And there goes Pac W. So let's see. All right, now we're long again at 10:02. We didn't get any dark pools there. That's strange. So let's wait to see what happens now at 10:02 flat. Again, giving it back to 90s. So if it breaks back through 90, maybe a little bit more love than that, but it'll be somewhere around here that we're going to give this back into, possibly with an average in as well. So there it is. We're long right now on Pac W. We'll put our outs and wait to see what does happen right now with PAC W. This might be one that we've got to hold a little bit into the close here just to see, because it's not moving, right? So if it does get some juice above that $10 mark, then that's all good. The stop is now in on Pac W.
So someone just pointed something out in the chat, which I have to get to. One more tick, and I'm going for Pac W again, because the high is at 2 level. But Palantir in the afternoon, it was eerie, because it was at 18.10. It just couldn't get past it. That was a breakout today, and it's doing basically the same thing this afternoon.
Yep.
Like, it's almost like forget about the breakout and pretend that that never happened, and you have the same resistance line, which is holding up. So if this takes it out through like 18.13 that was that local high yesterday. If that gets taken out, I think it's a heck of a long. So I'm now into Pac W. It's a cent higher, so I'll probably stop it out under 10 again. I want to see the volume come into this thing. I think it's worth those shots. But to go from that to, we're rejecting that 1,600 level. 16,000 level on the NASDAQ, just rejected pretty decently there. Pulling back in 15 handles, so the breakout on Amazon's not going to happen. I'm stopping out on the last of our shares underneath that local high. Is there anything worth a short at these levels? I know Meta was one name that I liked for the short around these prices, 315.5. Underneath 315.5, this could be a short on Meta for me. Give it to 316 even. And again, it has to be something that I liked at a decent price. So that was a key level for me early for the breakout. That was yesterday's top. We get underneath, I'm going to like that to the south side. See, Pac W is not going again.
I know, it's a joke.
You need volume for a breakout. It's just, you know what? I'm not taking a third shot at it. There's not enough volume on that stock. It just isn't. So I'm looking for a breakdown on Meta to get me in. There's my line in the chart. I've left it in. But Pac W, and I'm just going to pull it up here. It looked good when it tried to take the level the first time, but then no follow-up on volume, no follow-through, and again, no follow-through on the volume. Just instantly drops back to nothing on the volume side. So that's a bit of a disappointment for Pac W, but you get in, you get out, not going to hold it too far against. Meta, I think, can be the short. It's about to go underneath. Amazon hasn't stopped out yet,
We knew there was shorts.
but it's not there just yet. I want to get Meta maybe, Meta for sure, Tesla maybe at 94. I liked 95 a heck of a lot better on Tesla. But it might just be 94 is it.
Oh, damn it. Look at AMD. It's absolutely collapsing all over itself. So, again, a little bit of a mistrade there as we got out. Let's just try Apple. Apple, I mean, it came close to getting us into our short. We were waiting for this level, actually, and my order's at 84. Got as high as 72 right there. So I feel like we can use almost that as our out now. Try to build a little bit of a short if in case this NASDAQ does come through. Average it into about this 70 area right now. As we just want to go back into the short for Apple. We talked about, there's the imbalances, 670, 627 to buy. Ugh, come on, Brendo, give me a cell number. But we are right now long on Palantir and short on Apple, and hopefully long on time as well. So let's see if this can work out here for us on this Apple. We're just starting the trade. Wouldn't mind getting it somewhere around here as we did fade off. I mean, that's how perfect is that? Fading off of 16,000? Like, again, rewind it. We talked about getting up to there. We should have had something short in that area, but we don't. So that's the sucky part about that. We'll wait to see if something else can come through. But for right now, short Apple. I'm going to just put another offer here around 50. See if we can get that, and hopefully we don't wind up giving too much of this day back if that is wrong right now. So as we are trying to go, I mean, the NASDAQ, what an exciting day, man. Zeros on the board right now for the NDQ. Palantir, again, there it is, rejected 18 again. Would have loved to have that print, don't have it. Now it comes back up into 18 and change. Let's see if it wants to continue to go a little bit higher. That's PLTR. That's a name that obviously we have on board as well. Watching that one move around a little bit here, so PLTR. But, after that, we're just going to have to wait. So Palantir up to 13, 14, 15. Like Neil said, that'd be kind of cool if we can get anything that's 30s. That's like the ideal spot for that. Apple we reshorted, and that's trying to do something as well. But so far, not really doing much on this Apple trade. So hopefully downside, we just shorted right now, 30s, 31s. Hopefully that can come in. Someone said Starbucks earlier. That name actually was moving around pretty decently there to the upside. It was running into some resistance, I believe, on the 20-minute chart. There's 102 right there. Yeah, so again, let it load up, but there it is right there, 102, 102.20. Those little high wicks there, 102.20. So that would have been, again, another good short against a risk to reward there of about 30 or 40 cents. You know, if the market fades, you do have some downside push there on this name. But here we go. There goes Palantir. There goes Palantir. Like, hopefully there goes Palantir. We get it going to the upside a little bit now. As we're trying to go through 10s, we're long at 07 change. You know, could have reloaded, didn't. Market tried to dump out a little bit. We have an offer at 14s to see what we can do on Palantir. So that offer's there at 14 on PLTR. Let's see if anything happens right now, as we're almost back to the high of the day for ourselves here. So let's go. Couple good trades there. Palantir trying to go.
Just very quickly, Amazon, I did not reload it, but it bounced right exactly off the level that we entered in. So that little pullback into the local high, that ends up holding out on the way back. It wicked that bottom, and if the market gets back to 16, this is still very valid for the breakout of the top. But I'm going to cover. I'll cover in front of 136 and then go long if it breaks 136. We still have some time to the imbalances. Ideally, it would have to happen before we get 350. I don't want to be punching the long at 350 on a breakout. A lot of times at 350, I'm almost thinking the other direction, like a reversal at 350 or 355. So there's still time for it to work. I don't know if it's going to happen. Tesla just went again. It tapped 294. So I can want 295. I mean, you can want anything in the world. It's just, if it's going to resist 94 now twice, the short to be had at the moment off the 16,000 is the 94 level. So the R&R works. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to give it to the even. I think 95 is a better level, but this is the one that's presenting itself right now off the 16,000. So I just grabbed a 70 short, essentially. We'll risk about 30 cents plus slippage. See if we can't get it to 93. If it breaks 93, we can be holding back in for 350. And pretty much all the big tech names had imbalances yesterday. So, I mean, Tesla could have one. It does have earnings after market. If memory serves, and I'm not 100% on this, I don't recall ever seeing a big imbalance on a name that's reporting that night. So,
yeah, that's
we'll
something to consider there. Alrighty, here we go. So, I don't know. I mean, you guys can see sort of what we're doing right now with this trade. There goes Apple. That's 20 cents. I mean, so like what we lost there on AMD is just, we just made it back on Apple clean there, right? So there's the trade. You know, again, don't feel bad about anything. It's just, there's the trade on Apple. We called that. Wanted to get weakness into the name. There's 195.11. We just put this on board at 31. So that's 20 cents. Hopefully that can continue to print out. I'm getting a little nervous about Palantir. We could take something out at 0607. Yeah, maybe. Now that the market's faded off of that, we could take out a third maybe at 06. Maybe that, there it is. Maybe that can come out there and we'll see what happens. But took out a little bit of risk there on Palantir, just a third of that trade. So we'll see where it goes from now. Thank you for the gifted memberships right in front of my face there. That was great. Who was this? Nita Stonk again. Thank you so much for all that, man. Shout out to Nita Stonk with just, again, another 5 memberships. Make sure you do pick that up. Thank you to everybody for supporting the show as we continue to, you know, give you hopefully some winning trades here. Let's just see if it can work. Pac W, we got that bid there. Again, I don't really have too much risk on this name. Let's just see what happens with Pac W. We do have a lower out here in the 80s. So we're going to watch out to see if that can come through. Palantir for now doing nothing, and Apple's just kind of dancing around again.
Yeah, we're going to go with, I like the props one because it's one of the new ones that I'm a fan of. We don't use it necessarily enough. The short has come in off that 16,000. So you're looking for something that you can short when 16,000 rejects. I settled on Tesla because it showed you 294. We got in at 70s. I said I'll take out 93s, and then we're going to hold. I'd love to be holding this into 350 as opposed to just getting it out at that key 291.5 price. So hopefully 350 we're able to do that. But as we rejected, there was a bounce on Amazon that it held the lower high. So it held the lower high on that bounce. I'm getting out. if it's going to be, if we retest somehow in the last 10 minutes, next 10 minutes, we retest 16,000 and break it out, maybe there's a breakout on Amazon. But that needed to happen right away. It did not. The market reversed, looked for the shorts, found something that was going to the downside that we liked on resistance, and we grabbed that. But take the profit and run. It doesn't have to be big. But just because it's not big enough on the winner doesn't mean it's wrong to hold on to it. You should just exit it because you're seeing a reason to get out. So yes, it was in the money, but I saw a reason to get out because the market rejected 16,000, and you're not getting continuation on Amazon just yet. A lot can happen by the end of the day. As a reminder to everybody, both Tesla and Netflix report aftermarket, and it's going to be a great aftermarket show, obviously, because Prad will be looking at both of those live. I can only imagine his excitement in the tape as it goes all over the place. Not necessarily suggesting anybody trades those earnings because liquidity is not that great and you don't have access to some of the same stop orders from most platforms that you would during market hours. So it's very, very risky to do. I don't do it. Sean doesn't do it. Most of the traders I know don't try to do it. It's fun to watch and you can learn a lot about the levels. Trading it aftermarket, no dice.
Yeah, it's a different ball game altogether because your stop orders, of course, will try to get blown out. Okay, we have a small reload here in Apple. Just came right back up to 30 again, so we took more shares there. Our average price 31 and change. Flat on the trade for now. We'll just see what this market wants to do into the close. There's now only, bless you, there's only 20 minutes left. So we do have those imbalances coming out. Hopefully they'll be to the sell side, I guess, if I'm going to be net short here. But I do have Palantir and Pac W waiting to see if those can play out. And then Apple, the big one there for me. Let's just check out on Netflix to see what that's doing. I mean, we were shorted, or we can check Carvana quickly. Wow, okay, Carvana is making that move. This is the one, again, right there, $56. We talked about possibly getting that short in if it did come near $56 right now, but it is getting up to there. So I just don't know, man. Into the close. Now we're getting real close here. I don't want to say it's going to have an imbalance on it, but probably will have something on earnings. So we'll see. Although Neil said he was talking about the forward earnings. Obviously, Carvana reported yesterday. So there could be some people wanting to get in or out of position heading into tomorrow without affecting the market price. Now remember, that is really the reason for these market on close orders is that, and I'll show them to you right here. This is from the morning, so this is nothing, but it's so you have limited impact on the actual price of the stock. You don't have to throw in, let's just say for argument's sake, you're on AT&T, 500,000 shares. Each one of these levels, each one of these numbers on here is a board lot depending on the market. So that's 100 shares. So like right there on ARCA, that's 300, that's 1,300, as you can see. So if you're going to put 500,000, you got to put a 500 there, and that's going to be a problem, or 5,000, sorry, there you got to put. And that's going to be a problem for anybody that is looking for liquidity. So they try to put it into these market on closed functions or market on open so that it can have an opportunity to get paired off. So look at Carvana, wow, 55, starting to go now. Good upside move happening on CVNA right now yeah, it's taking names a little bit. Upside move, Carvana, where could it stop? I think right here. Right now, 56. So watch out for a 56 break on Carvana. We got a couple good outs there already, but yeah, there it is, man. Coiling up 51, 52. Nice upside break by Carvana at 56 there. Let's see if it even rallies higher than that. But CVNA on people's minds. And then Netflix was one more name, dropped off from 484. So maybe that's something really barcoding right now as well. Maybe a 480 drop on Netflix is the trade now.
I don't want you to look, but by the way, imbalances have not changed. Still 600 to buy. But what do you think expected move on Tesla based on options trading right now?
Like I don't even have it up. Like 6.5.
Boom. 6.2 is the expected move. Actually, this is 6.3, so 6.3 is the expected move. Netflix, let me just quickly, I'm going to do this live. Options AI has a great tool for this, just to give an idea of what we're expecting. So if you don't get a move of this size, maybe you get a continuation move that big, or if you go way too far past it, it could be really volatile. So Netflix is load.
My guess, you want me to guess?
Go for it, quick.
7, that was 6272.
7.4.
Oh,
so
7.4.
yeah, so 7% on Netflix and a half, 6.2 on Tesla. It doesn't mean that's how far it's going to move. That's just based on.
You remember last time Netflix had that up and down like 40 or $50, and then it basically leveled out the rest of the day. once the market opened up, it was a very, very calm situation. So I kind of expect that from some of these. But hey, if those numbers come all whacked out,
I'd say much more likely to trade Tesla after earnings than Netflix. I almost don't think
Tesla.
I don't think I will trade Netflix.
The spread on Netflix, Neil, is
It's
like
stupid.
50 cents.
And tomorrow at the open, it'll be crazy. That's the part
for sure. But here comes here comes Netflix right now, breaking back down below that 480. Wow. And what I'm saying is that the spread on this name, obviously the $500 name. So see, like right there, if you're using any serious shares, what you're trying to do, you even 100 shares, you slip 50 cents, still $50. Like that's not, if that happens over and over and over again, you slip to get in, you slip to get out. Next thing you know, that's $100. And it's just it's not about the money. It's just like that's too much slippage. Well, it is about the money. So whatever share size you're using, you gotta be careful about that shit. As if, man. Okay, well now there's the move down. We talked about some coiling up.
Max and I had a conversation about Netflix specifically for the way it moves.
What was the conversation?
It was basically like the amount that you have to hold it against you if you're playing some of those levels. It's just you can never trade it like Tesla when it was $500.
Yeah.
You could have dollar risk trades on it.
Yeah.
With Netflix, it's like it almost doesn't give you that. Like Netflix, it's like you always have to hold it $2 or $3 against you. It's just weird like that. It's just not the same level of liquidity. They can be the same price. They can both do volume, but one is a little bit different from the other. The market is giving it up. We're about 5 minutes away from the imbalances coming out, so I want to hold into the imbalances. Once we're tight to 350, I'm throwing a trailing stop just in case imbalances come to the buy side, and then we'll see what happens. So I have Tesla, ATVI doesn't count. I'm just bidding ATVI in front of 92. Yeah, 92 even to see if it gets down there. Oh, one name that we haven't, this made me, reminded me, we haven't even talked about Microsoft this afternoon. Microsoft bounced $4 off 352 to recover all the way to 355, and why 355 mattered, because I zoomed out way too far there. 355 was exactly where it consolidated after the news hit. The first consolidation level was right here at 355, 356 area, 55 on the bottom, 56 up top. So this afternoon, it finds that 56 up top and is now holding 55. So the same zone when the news hit yesterday that kind of settled and made the next leg up. When it bounces off the bottom, that kind of support yesterday is turning into some resistance here. Worth monitoring that for tomorrow. I don't think this is going to get to go green today, but 55, 56 is going to be on my radar tomorrow for Microsoft. I will be holding Tesla into the close. I don't see anything else. I wish I could say we had sniffed out a long in Carvana. I just don't know what you do with it this late in the session. For those that are swinging, if you're long, it's kind of fun. If you're looking for a breakout trade late in the day, unless you can get out and hold it into the aftermarket, I don't think they're any good because you'll get an aftermarket move that we're not really set up to take advantage of. So it's going to be Tesla for me. And if something sets up at 350, we'll let you know then.
So I shorted Apple. We took a dime on that one. We did get out some more on PAC-W. That's going to be a good trade there. So we'll go sirens up a little bit. We get some 98s. I mean, we got a 93. I don't know if it's going to go or not. Like I'm only sort of hitting the siren to try to get it, see if it wants to rally through $10 here. But that's kind of what we're waiting for now. We're long at 93s. We'll take an average fill. If it does come back out around that, I mean, there it is. We take 1002 plus 93s. So right now, that's our average price, 93. So we do take out the 1002 there for a 3-4 cent hit. Let's see now if it can go back up to the upside, give us that winner that we want. That's PAC-W. Palantir sleeping, doing nothing. We're just going to have to wait for everything for the close now. There's an Apple trade. We just reshorted that at 34, 30. You guys saw me do it, 33, 34. There's the out there at 23. I'm always trying to take out a little bit of something there as we go. So that's that on Apple, 10% out. Nice move down. I'm just going to give this one to this top here, maybe 75. Maybe that's even too much. Even this break right there, I think, is out 50s. Let's just put an out for Apple at 50, man. Because, again, with these imbalances coming, 195.52, let's just say, you know what? You got us. If it goes upside on that, take us out, and we'll wait for those imbalances now in a matter of seconds. And here we go. Maybe we do get an O print on Pac W. If this can come out a buy, we should take that. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a 99 here and just see if that can come through for us again on Pac W. And then Palantir's fading. We did get out of a piece there. We talked about that at 06 a third. So we have 2/3 left on this one. Doesn't look like it wants to go higher than where we are right now. So all right, so far so good on everything. Apple just chilling out. You mentioned Microsoft.
I just got out of Tesla. It ran my stop. You have to ring and register at some point. And what did I say? I said this time I'm going to hold it until a trailing stop instead of just getting it out of target. On the long, we took the 290 long, wanted it to 291 and a half, took it out, and it went further. This time we had the 94 short. I'm like, I'm not going to get it out at 291 and a half. We're going to throw a trailing stop if it gets to that price for 350. And if I had taken it, that would have been perfect. So it goes target both times. That's just how it works. You know, if this trail out's bad, it is what it is. We'll take the win in either direction. But I like trading with targets, generally speaking. But when it gets to 350, I want almost that coin flip that the imbalance goes in your way. Because if it does, you just get an instant another dollar to the downside potentially there. And it was in the money, so it was worth that shot. I don't know if we'll get a 350 trade because I want something that's at the high or low of the day. I don't want something that's dancing in the middle. If it's going to be a big imbalance, I want it to be like maybe Amazon 136. Like if Amazon pumped into 136, I'd look for like that as a reversal at 355. Like if it's a buy imbalance on Amazon and then it's going to the upside, tries to take 36 at 355, I'd look for the reversal off the high of the day. That's worked a couple of times the last couple of weeks. So this might be the one I watch now that I'm out of Tesla.
All right, 40 seconds to go. I just took a fill on Palantir for flat. Out another 20% there. It's like you have little faith, honestly, on this name anymore. I don't know where we're going to go on Palantir, and I don't really. Honestly, it's only 10 minutes left. You don't really want to be in trades when the imbalances are coming out. It's just a very, very risky thing to do because you don't really know the way. And on that note, I mean, you know, Mandalorian, this is the way. We've showed you the way, young Padawans out there. But for right now, you can see this is another profit spot for me for Apple. So let's take another dime. Hopefully it falls down and we'll be able to ring the register. We did take some more 99s and 98s out on Pac West as here we go. Now the imbalances are trying to fly through here right now. We'll see what happens on this rebalance day. That's coming soon, the 24th for NASDAQ. And here we go, 5, 2, 1, now, boom. Now let's see what happens here. Palantir's not doing anything. Pac West tried to go. We take a fill there on Pac W. Let's see if they can go any higher. We take a 10 fill. Intel with a buy. Google with a Intel. See, it's rifled up a little bit. I got to keep my eye on Apple.
What is LSI?
And everything right now as Apple's doing nothing, Palantir's doing nothing. There's Apple, so a little bit of a flush down. That's okay. So right now, see, now we're 15 cents in the money. Let's take it, guys. We'll take a fill there if we can get it on Apple, and let's see what goes down to the downside now. I don't see it on here, so there's really not much going on, man. You know, good on us for taking a little bit of profit, but we've made some money back. Did we just get that? Yes, we did. We got an Apple 15 fill there, so it's all good on that, man. So there it is. You know, make a little bit back. Like on this hit for Apple was 20 cents. Here it is, 20 cents in the money again on that one. So we are making a little bit of that money back. AMD was okay for us. We shorted that. We got 10-cent hit. Did fall back. If you were able to hold that, good. That's a tricky trade all day on that. And here we go. Finally, a little bit of action. Let's see if we take an 11 now on Palantir. We'll see about that. Nice upside move. If you weren't like all fraidy cat like I was, then maybe you did hold some of this on Palantir. So let's wait to see where it goes, but there it is. Nice move up. Did we get it 11? No, we did not. We'll see if we can get 11 next round up on that. So good way to close the day. We will be slightly off. I'm about 10% down from my high on the day, and which is completely fine. It was a good day for us. Let's just see if we can get a little bit more back, get a little bit more back than we've been doing on that. Not much, man. LSI, maybe an index name. I don't know.
It is. LSI coming out of the Russell 1000 being deleted from the index. That's why $3 million to sell on a $133 stock is pretty significant. The paired volume is nothing right now. So it's all imbalance on that name. The paired volume on Intel is actually pretty big, 1.4 million. There was no move for me on Amazon, obviously. You guys know that. I covered ATVI at 92.20, so that was a good short. It was not quite as good as it was. Like yesterday, you were getting better moves than the day before on ATVI. You take advantage of those deals when they're moving. I might have my eyeballs on this LSI just at that close, but 1.5 to sell on a Google, buy on Intel, very mixed. There's not a lot of other big names there. Overall, it's $880 million to buy. So it is a net buy and bounce, and the market bounced a little bit there. So not really a heck of a lot in terms of the big names as you scroll through it. If there were, we'd let you know. Verizon might be of interest. Amazon was a sell of 500,000. That was one I was looking for. I wanted it to be a buy, so maybe it makes the move into 136, and I could try that little cheeky short. We had that the other day on NVIDIA, and it worked out, but nothing there for us on that imbalance. But you saw what just happened to LSI. Like, it was already tanking, and then the imbalance sell side came out and moved another $1, but that's the reason, that Russell deletion tonight. What else do we have going on? We were looking at CVNA, but it's not really doing much. Going into that close, there's people talking about SoFi and Upstart. I'll look at anything if you're interested to know what an imbalance is. Like, hey, how big is this stock's imbalance, or is there one? Just let me know. Upstart's making a move. That's legit. I had one trade on Upstart. You should be able to guess from yesterday's show. I wanted the 60 break. I didn't give it enough room. It went to 61.5, so it should have been a winner, but I did not give that trade nearly enough room to the upside. I had a tight stop on it because that's how I do it. I want it going right away and not getting back underneath that 60. I'll usually give it, if it gets to 60.5, like it did here, then I don't want it retaking 60 even, because it already went $0.50. I want that to work the entire way, and it did not, but that just broke VWAP. Looks like it's going to be a late day runner. If it makes another high tomorrow, this is ham central above this 55 level. So every single breakout till it's back underneath 55 is insane on Upstart until it gets to $72. That makes it pretty valid for a squeeze play for the next couple of days.
Yep, and I remember that's what I was saying a couple of days ago when Max mentioned $40, $50 on Carvana. I was like, yeah, right. Then today we got to 58 or whatever it was. So great call by that one. And yeah, you never know how high some of these squeeze names can go. We did really well there on Palantir. We got most of them out here at 11s and 12s, as you can see on the upside. They're coded. I had a 14 offer, and I was just like, whatever. I'm just going to get these out when we could there. And so we did do exactly that on Palantir. Now we're getting lighter and lighter on that name. So we'll wait to see if we do have any luck with PLTR back up to the upside, but we're getting out of that one. And then we did get completely flat on Pac West, again up here at 10,980. We just unfortunately we got a 96.50 or whatever, some out 97, some 96.50 right there to complete that trade. So look, we're up on it. I don't know, I wish we were up a lot more. It didn't really run, but we did get a good average price, so I feel like changing up our strategies a little bit on some of these dip plays here will work out for us in the long run. So let's just keep doing that. A fail break, we'll average into it. We did have our stop. We didn't get triggered on that, so that's pretty darn good for us as well. And by the way, we're now flat on Apple, and this is what happened.
Hola.
Whoops.
Like and subscribe
That'll work
today.
That will always work. But this is what wound up happening there on Apple. So there's the 195 flat. So there's 35 cents again for Apple. The only trade that didn't work was that early couple shorts right there, where again, that's in the 195.12. That's a 195.28 fill. So we make the money back there on Apple. Obviously, Apple's up today. We've talked about how well we traded that earlier with this long and then that move right there. So that's why I say obvious, because we do have a $5 winner on Apple right there. That's a real trade. Long down there, out up here. And again, this is long from 1040, just playing off 92.50. We did not expect to get the AI news. Didn't even know there was any coming out. So there it is for Apple. You got to be sitting there to be lucky a little bit, right? So that's the out there on that. Pac W's made its way all the way back up. And what a good out that was on Apple. So definitely ring the registers, say what's up, hit a couple. We do have, there she is. We do have Kat on the bell there tonight. So that'll be good. Hit the like button if you haven't done that. We got a lot of likes earlier. Let's see if we can get a lot of likes late.
Yes, sir. And that, we got earnings coming through. We'll get to the imbalances. It flipped. Almost everything paired off. And Ford was a buy to a million for the second day in a row. It was nothing, and then it turned into a million buy. Someone's buying it at the close above 14. But tomorrow we do have some earnings that are important. Tonight we got Tesla. Of course, everyone knows about that in Netflix. You might not want to sleep on United. After what happened to ASML, which was crazy. I don't know why that's before the open. ASML reported last night. But after what happened to ASML, I think you want to look at all of the big chip names when they come through. But they reported last night. That's not tomorrow. The NASDAQ, the market, we don't really care about it as a stock. So we're probably only going to look at that DH Horton, maybe. That's a big maybe on DH Horton. It's just all about Tesla and Netflix and maybe United. But I wanted to come to the imbalances if we could for a second, because this is 2 days in a row. Ford was not there, and then there's a buyer for 1 million shares. There's something happening at this $14 level. It's exactly where it closed yesterday. If you're not familiar with ZVZZT, the 5 million buy imbalance, that is the NASDAQ test stock. So they're clearly running some kind of a test at the close, because ZVZZT is it's a fictional stock that we used to play jokes on trainees with when it would have big moves. It's essentially nothing.
Yep.
Ford, I'll watch it, but I don't think it's moving very much on that 1 million buy and balance. It didn't do a heck of a lot yesterday, but it's noteworthy that someone's buying it up at the close, putting these big orders in to pick some shares up, it looks like.
All right. Yeah, not much to talk about other than what's been happening here. Microsoft down to 355, trying to make a little bit of a run, obviously, there at the end of the day. Back to the upside. Nice move there about 3 o'clock for Microsoft, getting back to 356. So we'll put this on our radar tomorrow. Again, good mover, down more than the market is today. As the market tried to get back to, we should have had a bet going. As the market tries to get back to flat one more time there today, but it is a nice pullback down in. We got out of our Palantir. What the hell is that? We did get out of our Palantir as well.
What did you just?
I didn't hit anything.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Some interesting stuff happening right there. That's all good.
Did we get the super chat?
Was there a super chat?
Is this new? Or
Thoughts on
Shopify?
Shop Chart? Yo, what's up? What's up to Hayden? What's up, Hayden?
What's up, Hayden?
Hopefully you're all good.
It's all
yeah.
good, man.
I
We
mean,
got 1 minute to go. I don't know how quickly we can go through that chart, but.
Okay, yeah, we can try there. We do want to look at this into the close again. Again, you don't really want to look at the last couple seconds because you don't know what exactly is happening right now. But 68.20 right there for Shopify. So I would say for me, I've already talked about how much I like this down there at 60. It's breaking. For me, I think you wait for earnings. I don't want to buy any stock now at this time. I'm not going to recommend any stock right now for long or short. I feel like this earnings season is just so important. And we are going to see some names go back and forth here. So for me, Shopify's a hold. I'll do some more work tomorrow. Watch it tomorrow there, Hayden, and I promise you we'll talk about that off the open. But for
I can
right
recommend
now,
a long.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
No, not that stock.
Okay.
I recommend a long on ZVZZT.
Okay.
To the moon. That test stock is going to the moon. But we got less than 20 seconds.
call,
As a matter of
brave
fact,
call.
we got 10 seconds left. Katrina's on the bell. Thank you for an unbelievable day, everybody. But it is Tesla after the bell with Netflix in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it.
Thank you, Miss Cat.
And Tesla just plunged to 91s at the close there. So that 94 short was absolute gold. Looks like, the market's continuing to fall.
Netflix will come out right away.
Netflix is fast, but Tesla's a little bit later on there. So I think Netflix is the one
So
we should be
Netflix is up to
watching.
$500 right now, $495. Netflix is probably out, by the way, right now. I don't know, man. It just went touch $495, $465. $30 worth of a range right there on Netflix, but now it's calmed down, possibly not out right now. There goes Netflix, yeah. So I talked about the risk was just to the upside because of the fact that where this chart was, I could see us pulling back down. So I feel like anybody that went long into today was at risk for a miss, but I mean, that's true of every single time. So, we'll wait to see. Let's get some volume into Netflix because right there it just dropped and went up and down. $70.
Maybe it isn't out yet.
Maybe not. That could have just been somebody that was like, we're going to fool everybody.
This is why you don't trade it.
No, people trading aftermarket.
I know, but you and I both know this. I'm not going to name any names, but there was traders on the floor that would have a strategy based on economic numbers. If something happens, and if you get triggered into your trade before the release has happened, you can get destroyed. Because somebody could have triggered long on the first move, and then you're long at 90s, and it's at 460, and nothing's even out yet.
Netflix must be out.
Now it's got to be out. I still don't see anything. Brendo, do we have anything, Brendo?
Just listening to Netflix earnings coming through right now, guys. It looks like new signups beat, revenue missed. That's essentially the gist right now. 0.5% here for the composite. NASDAQ 100 ends red. Everything else green, though. Lots of stuff coming through right now, guys.
I mean, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but the guy's name is Sharif. He used to sit back here behind us and trade closing strategies. I remember earning strategies. I went right over to him and said, "This is insane to do that. Spend your time doing something else because it's just you're not net over time, it's not going to work out in your favor. I think trading some of these breakouts into the close, but that's just me. And obviously, Sharif no longer does that.
You know
anymore.
the problem with it is, when you find something that works, right? Like it's like risk to reward. This is my entry. This is my exit. That's all well and good. But your downside risk is not, okay, I'm long on this break. I'm giving it a stop of $1. That's not your actual risk trading the aftermarket. Trading the aftermarket risk is that you miss your stop.
Yep.
And you get caught overnight. And it's exponential at that point, and it throws everything out of whack, and then one trade ruins your entire month or career. And I wasn't talking about Sharif with that.
Oh, no, I know.
It was an oil futures trade years and years ago, but it was a similar kind of thing. So Netflix
because look, now Netflix is green. Netflix was just down 7%, and now it's green. So you guys tell me why that strategy is good, right? I mean, there's 450. Again, if you're holding for longer periods, I could see averaging in and doing things like that. But if you're throwing money at this, I think it's just a risky proposition. But that's what trading's all about. Hey, every trade is a risk.
It's true. It's just
open market risk.
It's just, can you make sense of that risk to execute a trade that will get you net profits over the long run?
I just can't sleep at night because, like, if you go short there Netflix, you may or may not be right. I just feel like you don't have enough time to let your trade pan out because, like, someone right now is short for 455, 460, 465, 470, as here it goes. So now you're out of the money, maybe $25 if you hit that, right? Or what about if you went long up here? Or, you know, I don't know. It's one of those things that needs work by me. But all right, now we just wait for Tesla. I think that's normally, would be surprised if it was 420. You know, we've seen this guy do this stuff before.
Oh boy. I need
right
mine
there.
back.
So,
I don't have those
all right. Our updated expectation reflects lower cash content spend in 2023. This is for Netflix than we originally anticipated due to timing of production starts. So there you go. So that's it, right? The Writers Guild, the Screen Actors Guild, Netflix talking about that, and up and away they go. Flat right now for Netflix. So we'll see. Wow, 480, right back to where we were short before, man. We were short 480 at 3 o'clock. So, all right, man. Yeah, 450 to 495. Yeah. Pretty dramatic move there for Netflix. So, all right, we're done.
We are done.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you to Fabian, Ramin today, everybody that's on the ones and twos. AJ for ringing the bell. Thanks to Kat for ringing the bell as well. It's great to be back. What a great day. My best day of the month. So happy to do that. Shout out to Prad doing the midday. OB and Max. We had
Max a million.
The three of them on. Sharif coming back on Monday. So not too many more days. What day is today? Wednesday again. So we got a couple more days here, and then Monday we're back to normal there. Brendan, anything you want to say about this Netflix at all? Or
I was just saying the $30 move off the low there is only Greg does stuff like that.
You're not $30 in the money there?
Come on, Brendan.
that's a tough one. All right, yeah, thank you for watching. We got Prad coming up right now. It's 4:05. So from everybody here at Trader TV Live, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for everything you do.
Tesla's out.
Well, I'm not wrapping this shit up anymore. Okay, so Tesla right now, hello, 287 to the downside. There goes Tesla right now, taking some more moves downside right now. Obviously, he will, Prad will come up with that. We talked about this today. I said everything is priced out nice right now. So if you're wondering about Tesla, here it is, making the move down 3, starting to go more. Yeah, we'll wait for those numbers, but we'll just wrap this up because, hey, we got to keep Prad employed, and we're taking his job again. So here we go. Let's say bye to everybody. Ciao for everybody at Trader TV Live. Over to Prad.
Kill him, Prad.
No, it's all good, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the After Party Show. Obviously, there's a lot moving, and they are very excited about everything moving. Let's do less of my face at the moment and go straight